Hurry, this event ends soon.
Adam Gold here from my friend Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK, the Triangle's only LASIK specialist who can take you to 20/20 vision, and it's more affordable than you think. 0% financing for 24 months is available. And in the spring, giving you $1,000 off. That's right, $1,000 off in the spring. All you got to do is call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. All that sunshine bringing some hot temperatures. We'll see a high of 87, not too far from a record for today. We're clear tonight and cooler with a high of 57. And then tomorrow we start with sunny skies. But after lunchtime, we'll see some scattered storms that develop, especially from the Triangle area southward. Highs will be in the low 80s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 16 points to 37,736.
Love guarded by Keels. Gets a screen. Pulls up for three. Got it! Caleb from straight away. Jones with one. Jones puts it up at the buzzer. Yes! He ties the game!
Joining with a long rebound. Kicks ahead to Smith. 3-ball right side.
Bang!
Shotgun snap. Bryce Young. Pressure off the backside. Throw to the end zone. Chark pulls it in with his fingertips.
And another chance. And the save's made by Anderson. And the fans will tell you, did you have a good night?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox producing the show. The Canes are playing on Saturday.
Let's go.
5 o'clock. Islanders. PNC Arena. We know the details. They're set. We can finally start planning our weekends without being worried about, oh, if I do something, then it might make me miss the game. We can plan appropriately. It is announced. It is signed, sealed, and delivered. Canes, Islanders, PNC Arena, 5 o'clock on Saturday.
Don't ask about game 2 yet. We don't know.
Relax. We just got game 1. That much I can pass along with confidence. I can't pass along with much confidence Jesper Fast's availability. What I can tell you, and again, when we get information, you get information, he did not practice today. He was not on the ice. The young guys outside of Scott Morrow, they were not on the ice with the team. They skated earlier. Mm-hmm. It's very much this is who you're riding with. This is the group. You know what you have, aside from the uncertainty around Jesper Fast. That's the question. That's the up in the air part of it. I stand by this. No excuses. That stays, there's actually, and I said this, after the regular season finale, if Foss doesn't get hurt there's close to 100% as I maybe have ever seen health-wise, as I have maybe ever seen a team going into to the postseason in the NHL. A Jesper Fast injury is not enough for me to change anything. No excuses continues. The teams you're playing are going to be dealing with boo-boos and ouchies and availability issues, and you have your one little pebble in your shoe. But for the most part, you sign up for this. Mm-hmm. If, when you acquire Gensel, who, by the way, was coming back from an injury, and Kuznetsov hadn't played in however many months, at least at the NHL level, when the roster was organized as it was intended, if I would have told you you're going into the postseason riding a pretty good hot streak and Jesper Fast is going to be dealing with something, you'll go, I wish Fast wouldn't, but I'll take it. Other things we learned from the morning skate today, Drury centering Natchez and Teravainen. Starting to look like decisions have been made there. at least for the first game, right? The first shifts. We know Rod Brindamore has the ability to, and the conviction in his own beliefs, to pivot if he needs to say, I thought that would work and it's not, we'll change it. But it looks like we know what the lines are going to be, at least the core groups of the lines are going to be when the postseason starts.
And you and I had the conversation earlier this week about three guys kind of fighting for two spots in terms of Drury, Kuznetsov, and Kotkaniemi. With the Fost injury, it kind of takes the decision out of Rod's hands, really. Like, he doesn't have to worry about it right now because he has Kotkaniemi playing on the quote-unquote fourth line with Kuznetsov and Nason, which, by the way, those three together as a quote-unquote fourth line should feast on other teams' fourth lines in the playoffs. But Kotkaniemi sliding into the spot where Fost would normally be, he's going to have to play a physical style of play. He's going to have to be physical because that's what Jesper Fost brought. He's going to have to bring that to that line.
And you know, in a weird way, it gives you, however, and we don't know the information on how long Fost will be gone. We know he didn't practice today. He's doubtful for, tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's practice.
This could be seen as like, all right, the three guys that were battling for those two spots, go out in the postseason and earn it, right? You put up, a point, you score a goal, you do something magnificent. There's a good chance you're going to be in the lineup the next game, right? You can ride a hot streak to being a significant contributor to the postseason hopes of the Carolina Hurricanes. There is an interesting question because there's somebody like Jesper Fost being out. You might think, and I'm guilty of it, it's only Fost.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right? It's no disrespect to Fost, but you can start naming all the players you think are more important or more pivotal, right? And you're going like, at least it's not so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so. But one thing Fost is, and it's part of being around for a while, it's part of being on that Martinook Stahl Fost line so often, which just seems so steady, is you do take a player like him for granted, and you don't realize the situations that he just takes care of, or you can trust him within. Dennis and I were talking off air, and he brought up the first shift after a power play, right? Power play, which, by the way, it looks like the power play lines are getting back to what they were before guys started taking their time off.
Yep. First shift is like a first shift after a Canes power play.
Yes.
That is. Yes.
Well played. So if the power play units, play out the power play when the Canes have the advantage and they don't score, that Martinook Stahl Fost line has been thrown out there, even if they're not skating together on a line for the rest of their shifts. They're thrown out there because they know each other like the back of their hands. They have a ton of experience together, and they will, because they're not part of usually not part of the power play units, have fresh legs, and you can put them out there until you can get back on rhythm with your shifts. So that's one of those situations where, without Fost, do you trust the next guy in that situation? Does Stahl and Martinook have the same relationship with the next guy in those situations? It does throw some things off, and I don't want to completely dismiss the impact that Jesper Fost being out might have. I'm more saying it about everybody else, right? They're so good that they should be able to overcome that. They're so good that Jesper Fost being out, which may have upended the team in years past, because it's like, gosh, what are you going to do without Quickie? What are you going to do without Fost? Is that shouldn't be the case this year. They've built up the depth. We're looking at things that are different this season, right? That's kind of been one of the themes of the week, is what's going to be different about this postseason run that the previous postseason runs that came up just short didn't have. And one of the answers we came up with was the depth. They have built up a surplus of talented individuals to better handle an injury here or there. Now, every team in every sport of professional sports has a handful or less of players that if you lose them, everything becomes upended. The good teams limit that number by having as many quality players that you trust in a big moment out there, and the Canes have enough to withstand a Fost injury. No excuses. I don't want to have a poor performance in game one and have anyone, even media or fans, say, well, Jesper Fast wasn't out there. I'm going to be going, nope, I preemptively said no excuses on that one.
Now, don't forget, Jesper Fast last year, game 2 against the Islanders in the opening round, won that game in overtime. He had the overtime game winner, and then in the second series against the New Jersey Devils, actually had the series-clinching overtime win in game 5. He had an overtime goal in game 5, which clinched the series for the Canes against the Devils in that second round. So the guy has put up some big goals. For sure, but like you said, there's no excuse for this.
And I want to be clear, Fast is good. They've built up depth, so when good is out, good replaces.
Mm-hmm.
That's like if Fast had the game-winning goal. All right, that better be Kuzi this year, or that better be Kotkaniemi playing in those minutes this year, or Drury this year. Like there's the thing is, good can go out and good can replace good. That's what they've built up. That's why there's no excuses. Don Waddell has done his job. That's why there's no excuses. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I want to tell you about my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. The 82-game preseason is in the books. It's finally time for the real season. Don't miss out on any of the NBA playoff action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the play-in tournament through the finals, from every opening tip to every buzzer beater, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. They've been sending out really solid odds boosts. They call it a mystery odds boost. So you click on it, and then they tell you how much percentage your odds will be boosted on the golf bets. So Patrick Cantlay, for me, come on and have a good day. Got the boost on you. You can have the same kind of fun. You can have the same kind of options if you just go to your DraftKings Sportsbook app. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $20 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD, T-I-M-D, with no spaces. That's code TIMD to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Mac Brown in North Carolina don't want their spring game on TV. What are they hiding? Stick around.
We were born ready.
Let's go Hurricanes!
The Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Burns, rebound, score, Seth Jarvis.
Let's go Canes!
Dean wide open, rebound, and what a save by Anderson.
Let's go
Orlov settled, shot right on, gets it with a second try, Swim against it, they score!
The win or go home season arrives soon. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Enjoy the ride.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time, I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Shinecup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
May pulls it away from Hampton. May around the left side. Touchdown. App sold out on Hampton.
Yep.
That left the freeway open for May for 6.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's funny, that song was one that played in our stadium before games when I was playing in college. So it's appropriate that we're talking spring games. Spring games, you let yourself listen to the music a little bit more, right? You're not as locked in. You're enjoying it. North Carolina is going to be enjoying their spring game, UNC, because they can be a bit secretive. I love how seriously college coaches of all kind take secrecy, right? You know what's the best example of this? And Mac Brown is going into it, right? Mac Brown asked the ACC network not to broadcast their spring game. Most schools beg and plead their network TV partners to put their spring game on national television. Mac Brown said, how about we do interviews and a little bit of a practice rather than the spring game, which is an interesting decision. And we're going to look at maybe some of his motivation.
Yeah, because a lot of people want their spring game out there for recruiting and all that kind of stuff.
They
get
want
your
it to be a
product, get your
spectacle.
brand, all that stuff out there.
My favorite bit of secrecy, though, from coaches, when Lincoln Riley was at Oklahoma. So when he was coach at Oklahoma, he had Caleb Williams backing up at the time Spencer Rattler. And Caleb Williams was the number one recruit in the country, and Spencer Rattler had a rough whatever the year before ending. So there was a big talk about, will Caleb Williams get any reps with the ones? From their practice field, you could see, like, over the top of buildings, a couple of the freshman dorms. Lincoln Riley had them go over and frost the dorm windows so you couldn't see, like, you know, like how like a shower sometimes door is frosted so you can see like shapes, but you can't really tell the details. He had that done over the freshman dorm windows so the freshmen couldn't look out their window and see who was getting reps with the ones and report it to whoever else.
It's so over the top.
It's so funny. We had a year. We had a game in college where our starting quarterback, this was when I was backup, had an ankle injury, and he had to be in a boot during the week. Whenever he spoke to the media, he would take the boot off right outside the media room, walk to as best as he could without limping, to the table, sit down, and then walk out and put the boot in right after, because the coach was like, we don't want anyone to know you have a boot on. I'm like, our practices are out in the open, and he's out there with the boot. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Coaches just get secret. So is Mac Brown just being a college coach saying, I don't want cameras in my spring game because, he's going that way. State's not going to be able to watch, and we're not going to have to run all bland run plays so then nobody knows what we're doing. It's possible. Mac Brown requested UNC spring game not be on ACC Network. They worked it out so that the ACC Network crew could get their interviews out of practice on a different day, and they fulfilled their obligation. But now, even though their spring game is open to the public, it will not be on TV. What's the motivation? They do have a new defense. Maybe they want to keep everything under wraps. There is supposedly a legit quarterback competition going on.
Okay.
Maybe it's the same thing Lincoln Riley. They don't want anyone to know who runs out there with the first team first. As if beat writers won't be in the stands writing it down. They're going to keep that a secret.
It's not like someone in the crowd won't have a phone going, oh, look who's out here first.
Yeah, going, oh, the team just jogged out. So-and-so is out there with them. There's a third. How many options am I up to? There's a second option that it might be the reason. There's option number F, right?
Sure.
There's another option. Do you think Mac Brown is trying to do everything he possibly can to throw a wet blanket on any hype over UNC? UNC has had some very hyped up seasons in the past few years. This is the year, gonna make a run. This is the year. NFL quarterback last year of eligibility. NFL quarterback gonna go pro after this season. It's time to go all in years where everybody gets very excited. Maybe even people on this network, maybe even someone that's talking into this microphone, right? Maybe me, got very excited for how it appeared as if North Carolina was going to be a few of these recent years, and they didn't have their best seasons. Meanwhile, they've pleasantly surprised a few times when expectations were not high. Could a coach be overthinking things that way and thinking, no, if this quarterback or this running back or this receiver has 4 touchdowns in the spring game, I don't want the ACC network all offseason to be saying, you know who you want to watch out for? Nate McCollum at UNC had a massive spring game, looked like he's ready to step into Tez Walker's shoes. Heck, maybe Josh Downs' shoes. Like, you don't want that if you're UNC because you've had that and it hasn't worked out. Meanwhile, their crosstown rival, right over there wearing red, NC State, is getting a ton of hype because they went and signed everybody out of the transfer portal that was possibly an option. And they're spending all this money, and they had Dave Doran after the 5 games saying give to the NIL collective, and they were in a Pop-Tart bowl with a weird, strange mascot that everybody got excited about. Maybe North Carolina is simply by not allowing us to watch their spring game, by being a little bit more stingy with their availability and or their building of hype, is simply saying they're a program that likes to be the hunter rather than the hunted. They're a program that likes to lay in the cut rather than, here's a strange reference from the internet like 15 years ago, than yelling Leroy Jenkins and just running down the middle with no regard for secrecy or stealth. Stealth is the word I'm looking for. Could be a little bit of all of this, right? Could be they don't want to reveal anything of their defense because it is new. They don't want to tip their hand on the quarterback competition because it is still up in the air, and they're trying to tamp down hype. But either way, it's an interesting discussion. It's an interesting decision because of what we started this conversation with. Most teams brag about how many people watched their spring game on the television, how many people watched it in attendance.
Yeah.
What kind of – do you see what –
sold out our spring game.
Do you see what Ole Miss did at theirs?
No.
They had a dunk contest.
There you go.
They brought a basketball hoop in and had a dunk contest.
See?
I don't know how that's – but it built hype. It had people talking about it. I don't pay attention to Ole Miss spring game. I saw parts of the dunk contest. That's what they were trying to do.
Got to create buzz.
Can you think of two more different coaches than Mac Brown and Lane Kiffin? Probably not. Maybe Ken Nui Matsalolo or something like that, because he's run the triple option for so many years. But that's about it. UNC, secret. Who's your quarterback? It's a secret. Sometimes I think the quarterback secrecy is funny too. It's like, when everybody's going to know? When only one play is like the first play. It's going to go, all right, the secret's revealed. Now let's play football.
It's like, oh, yeah, I think Max said it a couple years ago when Drake May was first year as a starter. It's like, well, who's your starting quarterback? It's like, well, we don't have a starting quarterback right now, but Drake May is going to go out there first. Okay, so Drake May is going to be your starting quarterback. It's like, okay.
Did I say that? Oh, man, you tricked me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis Cox has something he wants to tell you about.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check them out online, deepriversportingclays.com. I know everyone is already planning for the weekend. I know it's a busy day on Saturday. People are probably looking to stuff to do. Maybe you're trying to already formulate your Saturday because of some big events happening here in the area. Well, what about Sunday? Sunday's free for a lot of people. Well, guess what you could do Sunday? You want to have that book that, waiting for your team, your favorite hockey team to hit the ice, for a second time. Go to Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Check out all that they have to offer, deepriversportingclays.com. You're looking to get outside, maybe on a little bit of a cooler day on a weekend. Well, guess what? Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School is a great opportunity for you to enjoy the natural setting that they have down there. 65-acre area. They got a beautiful course that has 13 different target spots. They also have the target range. They also have the shooting school as well. But also when you show up, they have everything that you need for your round of clays. And if you've never been there before, one member of their expert staff will go around with you to make sure you know exactly what you're doing, so it's a safe, fun experience for you. And then if you want to, go chill out at the outdoor pavilions that they have available as well. Go to deepriversportingclays.com. Again, deepriversportingclays.com. When you swing through there, let them know that Dennis sent you.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need a tailgate weather report. We finally know when the Carolina Hurricanes are going to open their postseason at home at PNC. It's this Saturday, 5 o'clock. We go to Kat Campbell, the meteorologist, to give us the tailgate weather report coming up next.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal on the final seconds of overtime or a shot on goal in the first period. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
Enjoy savings every day when you get a McDouble, McChicken, and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus, get any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.29. Price and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, Call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
This is Creighton Blackwell from Coastal Credit Union. This month, we're at Fuquay Marina High School with our newest Scholar Athlete of the Month, Kenzie Smith.
How long have you been playing softball?
About 9 years. I've played since I was like 10 or something like that. My sister brought me into the sport. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here.
What does it mean to you to be recognized for your work as a student athlete?
It means a lot. Like, I'm glad I'm able to represent the school and the team of what the meaning of the bingle means. Bingle ball is like always something the old coach here, Coach Clark, would say. It's always like, give it everything you got. Whether you're in school, whether it's in life, you just gotta give it everything you got, and I'm glad I was able to represent that.
She's always encouraging. If she's not leading by telling people, she's leading people by example.
She's a quiet leader. Like, she's not necessarily the loudest one. She's not always the one that's gonna be barking orders and things like that, but she leads by example in a quiet way.
She had a walk-off hit out here in a huge game, so we found it fitting that for her to have a night.
Kind of brought the team up and then encouraged us to keep fighting for next games that we would have.
But that night was pretty special.
Congratulations, Kenzie.
For 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, head to WRALSportsFan.com, keyword award.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We go to the Heister Automotive Group hotline for a little tailgate weather report. We now know what time and what day the Canes are opening their postseason. It's home at PNC Arena. It's Saturday. It's at 5 o'clock. And with that, we bring on WRAL's Kat Campbell. Check out her forecasts evenings on WRAL. Kat, we appreciate you for taking the time. Is it going to be a fun tailgate, or are we going to be out there braving some elements?
No, I think it's going to be a fabulous tailgate forecast. You know, I don't know how early people are going to get out there, but even in the morning, it's going to be pretty mild. I would say if you're getting out there, 9 a.m. for those of you who are more hardcore, temperatures should already be in the 60s. We only have a 20% chance of rain in the forecast Saturday. And for the puck drop, it should be right around the mid-70s. So we've got some really great weather. You know, today we're in the upper 80s. It's not quite going to be in the upper 80s. We're talking mid-70s for highs. But especially if you're going to be out on the pavement tailgating during the day, you don't want it to be that hot necessarily. So very comfortable.
That's about as good of a forecast as you can give, which hopefully will just, increase the vibes and everything.
Exactly. That's what we want.
I know we've seen you on our remotes kicking around Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Obviously, you'll be kicking around PNC. Is there a particular food that when tailgating comes, it's a beautiful day, it's in the 70s, that you go hunting for in the parking lot?
You know, I am not the best person to ask this, but my fiance, he is the pro. I just got him a smoker for his birthday. So last weekend, he did a brisket and a barbecue. He had a whole spreadsheet going to figure out the temperatures of both and how long each needed to be smoked. So he is the best when it comes to tailgating food.
When you
just can't beat that.
When you're breaking out the spreadsheet to cook, I respect that hustle right there. That is effort. Kat, let's go ahead and get your prediction, right? We'll use the weather vibes and whatever else you bring into your spreadsheet to make predictions. What do you think the Canes are going to do in the first round?
I think they're going to make it through. They've got good energy. I think they've got good teamwork, good vibes. Everybody's got to bring the good energy and cheer them on Saturday. Should be a great day to do that. I'm thinking they'll head to the next round.
There we
Fingers
go.
crossed.
Kat, we appreciate you for taking the time, and we'll continue to check out those forecasts on WRAL.
Yes, there should be more with more playoff games coming up, right?
Of course. Yeah, we'll
keep
be
that
checking
energy.
it. Exactly. Keep
Thanks.
that energy. Once again, Kat Campbell, WRAL, thank you for taking the time. Honestly, it's good weather. This might be the best indicator. When I start the segment by saying the game starts at 5, right? And I go, all right, what's the weather for the tailgating? And she hits us with starting at 9 a.m. That's how you know the weather is luxurious, because 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, we're looking at like 8 hours of tailgating. She gave us the heads up for.
I know. Usually I think they open the lots like 5 hours early, but people will get there even earlier than that. But you know what? Good on you.
She said if you're going to be out there at 9 a.m., it's going to be about in the mid-60s. I'm going like, you can spend, if it's mid-60s and 70s, you can spend all day outside.
Oh, yeah. Well, go from 9 to 5, then after, boom, game time.
Game time. There it is.
Hey, by the way, what's your go-to tailgate food?
Food?
Yeah.
I'm okay, there's two. See, you're going to get an overthinking answer.
Oh, come on.
The first is I'm burgers and dogs.
Yeah.
I'm traditional.
With you on that.
You can cook a lot. They're fast moving, right? You can get them to everybody in your party while they're still hot. But if I'm being more fancy, this actually comes from my dad. He used to do it when we'd tailgate growing up for the adults, kids, burgers, and dogs. Mm-hmm. The adults used to get like shrimp scampi skewers.
Whoa.
Right off the grill. Super easy. Like it's you know how everybody has like the one meal that you know how to make, like if you're trying to impress somebody.
Sure.
I took my dad's scampi as like the one. Okay. So I can do that on a grill if I don't know, the high roller clients are in town or something like that. I throw some scampi on the grill, pass those skewers around. You can still eat it off the skewer like a finger food. I think that's important at a tailgate, that you don't need a ton of utensils. But that's mine. What about you?
Anything, you just grab with your hand. It's a lot easier.
Exactly.
I'm with you. Burgers and hot dogs. You can go as simple as that. I will say this, though. When you're going to tailgate at PNC, or really tailgating anywhere, but especially going to tailgate this weekend at PNC, make sure that you respect that other people's space. A lot of people are going to be out there tailgating, having a good time, so respect each other's space. But if you do not have an opportunity to bring a grill out with you because you're taking a Lyft or Uber or something along those lines, you don't have the ability to bring a grill out, here's what you can do. If you get there early enough, go into the parking lot, bring hot dogs and buns, if you need to, condiments like some chips and something like that, and a case of a beverage, and you go to someone's tailgate, and like especially a larger group, like, hey, we don't have a spot to cook, but we brought hot dogs. Mind if we throw these on the grill? You guys can have some too. And by the way, we got a case of a beverage. And if someone approaches you with that, say yes. Make friends, say yes. We're all there together as fans to have a good time. Say yes.
Unless they're wearing an Islanders jersey.
In that case, kick him out of the parking lot. Kick him out of the parking lot, boo and hiss.
I think you should just have social cues, right? Read vibes.
Yeah.
If you walk up and they're like, you don't want to be there.
Yeah, that's all good. Don't worry about that.
But someone will let you in. There's really nice people.
Have fun, enjoy the experience. It's a community event as much as anything.
And yeah, don't just be a taker.
Yes.
Bring some giving, and if you're going to be taking.
Hey, if you ask to use their grill, like, hey, we also brought some for you all too.
There you go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's move on to our countdown. There's so much going on in the sports world right now.
There's a lot happening.
We are 5 shows, 7 days. 5 shows until the NFL draft.
5 shows until the draft?
5 shows until the NFL draft.
And how many days?
7 days.
7
5 shows. So each day, starting 10 days out, we've been picking one position group for the Panthers, breaking it down, how they've gotten better, how they've gotten worse, who they've added, who they've lost, and then what they might do in the draft when it comes to that position. Today on the list, we have cornerbacks. This is a very interesting position. They lost Dante Jackson. They brought in Dane Jackson.
Well, they didn't lose him. They traded him away.
Well, I meant the position group has lost him. Like he's no longer a corner for the Carolina Panthers. C.J. Henderson's gone. The starters. Let's start with the starters. J.C. Horn and Dane Jackson are the starters on the outside. Troy Hill is the starting nickel corner. Backups, you have DiCaprio Bootle, who has one of the greatest names, DiCaprio Bootle.
Boodle, rocket everywhere. Yes.
When you can do that and don't even bring up that his first name is DiCaprio, pretty good. Deshaun Robinson is also a backup. This is the crux of everything when it comes to the Panthers corners. This is the middle. This is everything. If you told me Horn, Jackson, and Hill would be healthy, I like their corners to be solid. I like their corners to allow Evero, the defensive coordinator, to call any plays he wants to call. If he has to leave J.C. Horn on an island, if he has to have J.C. Horn traveling with the number 1 wide receiver, if you told me he was healthy, I'm with it. Dane Jackson, more than good enough as a secondary corner, as that opposite corner. And Hill, there's a reason they brought him back. He's a veteran that's going to know how to operate within the defense in that nickel corner kind of a role. If you told me they'd be healthy, I'm in. But guess what? You and nobody else. You can't tell me that they're going to be healthy. You'd be stupid to think that. Teams that don't have injury-prone corners need more than 3 corners that they trust out there because even they are banking on some kind of injury. The Panthers, meanwhile, have J.C. Horn, who can't complete a season, or at least up to this point hasn't been able to. You need depth, and that is the quandary. There is rock and hard place for the Panthers. They need depth, but they also don't want to spend a ton of money, of resources, of draft capital on a guy that they hope doesn't play much. Right? You draft a corner in the 2nd round, you're thinking that corner is going to play.
Probably start.
Yes. But they don't need a starter. They need depth. But that depth might be a starter if J.C. Horn gets hurt again, or if Dane Jackson gets hurt, or if Troy Hill, they're a little bit more veteran. If those guys get hurt, I'll go back to the beginning of last year. Okay, beginning of last season, we were doing Panthers cons and cons. What are we most confident in? What are we most concerned about? And there was one particular that stands out to me, where my confidence was the talent of the secondary.
Yep,
and the very same exact edition, the same day, without any prior preparation or tipping each other off, Dennis's concern was the injuries of the secondary, specifically the corners. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I like the corner's talent. I really like J.C. Horn's talent.
Oh, he's tremendous.
They brought in Dane Jackson for a reason. He has a relationship with some guys on the staff. Troy Hill, they brought back for a reason. I like the talent. My concern would be the health of the corners. And by the way, I think both kind of played out last year. I thought the corners and secondary, when they were healthy, played one of the bright spots.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, J.C. Horn got hurt, and Dante Jackson was hurt at times, and it was
Xavier Woods was hurt.
It was a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Both played out in the exact way that we talked about it. It seems like they're in a similar situation. So we talk about this, going into a draft, going into an offseason, when you are in a full rebuild, and the Panthers are in a full rebuild, you have to bet on something, right? We've talked about how their offensive line, they're very obviously betting on Ike Ekwonu playing much better than he played last year, right? They spent a ton of money to solve the interior offense of the offensive line, which meant they had to bet on the left tackle. They might not draft a corner. That would be them putting their chips on these guys can stay healthy. That would be them making a bet, because you have to bet on something. Those guys can stay healthy. I could also see them as high as maybe the third round drafting a corner and saying we want to insulate ourselves against one of those guys getting hurt. And oh, by the way, if you draft one and you're comfortable, you still might get messed over if two guys get hurt. Like that's the nature of the beast. Everybody takes that risk. But, just like you walk up to the roulette table and you got to put your chips on some numbers, right? It'd be dumb to put them on all of them, but you got to place your bets, right? They're placing their bets. I could see them placing their bets on these corners staying healthy. And oh, by the way, that's a high-paying bet, right? If that hits, you got people you don't know giving you high fives in Vegas. They're jumping up and down with you just because they want to share in your excitement.
Massive payout.
If J.C. Horn plays, like I've said this earlier this week a few times, if he plays 14 or 15 games, you have the businessman who's to your left that hasn't said two words to you all night at the roulette table jumping up and down with his arms around you because you put your whole stack on red 18 and it hit. He's thinking you might pick up a couple of his bets because you're cashing money. The corners, it's one question. Are they going to stay healthy? If you have the answer to that, let me know, and we'll go to Vegas. We'll go to a sportsbook app. We'll do some things.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I know none of us actually know. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Moving on to elsewhere, with the draft being 5 days away, I heard one of the more unusual... 5 shows, sorry. 7 days.
Seven.
I'm just going to randomly throw out so that's a Chappelle Show clip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to randomly throw out the show just in the middle of a sentence. Be like, so the Canes are playing on Saturday, 5 o'clock. It's going to be a fun one. 7. See, I got you. 7? There we go.
7.
For those of you that don't know, Dennis is the one that controls all the sound bites. So
I do.
That's not me just saying a number and then having Chappelle say it back to me. An unusual situation. Let's just move on to this. I had a whole segue plan. Let's just jump to it.
Okay.
The Commanders brought in quarterbacks for what can only be described as a bachelorette-style group date.
Oh. Do tell.
I've watched one season of The Bachelor, and I didn't even really watch it, but I paid attention to it anyway. They do group dates like early on where, the one-on-one dates are super valuable, but they'll take like 4 of them on a date at the same time, and it builds up the drama, right, and who gets the attention and who stands out and who's too tall. Anyway, Washington, the Commanders, are treating Drake May, UNC, are treating Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Michael Penix, the other quarterbacks at the top of the draft, other than Caleb Williams, essentially, because they have the number 2 pick. They're treating them like the bachelors and bachelorette contestants. Let's go on a group date. They brought in those 4 guys for a meeting in a group setting. I've never heard anything like this. I guess San Fran has done something like this.
Okay.
And Adam Peters, who comes from San Fran, kind of brought it with him. I'd never heard of it. It is ridiculous to me.
Peters was in the front office in San
Yes.
Francisco, now the general manager for the Commanders.
Correct. I think this is one of those ideas. I'm big on no bad ideas, right? You're in a boardroom, big conference table, large whiteboard at the front of the room. Somebody's got the dry erase marker. They're looking around saying, all right, hit me, brainstorm, no bad ideas. I'm big on that. I like no bad ideas. However, once they're written on the board, you don't have to execute them, right? Put it on the board so everybody sees it. Maybe it sparks something that leads to a good idea. This feels like they were in a room, said, all right, we got to decide between these 4 guys. We have to know who we're going to take. If Caleb Williams is there, we're taking him. How do we decide between the rest? And somebody said, like, why don't we bring them all in at the same time and see who's the most dominant? Why don't we bring them all in at the same time and see who the alpha is? Hoo-ah! And they went, cool, write it down, let's do it. What are you trying to learn? Who gets the most FaceTime with the GM? Do you think they ran Ooh, what if they ran like a game show?
Oh, okay.
They gave
Go
them all
on.
buzzers and said, 4th and 2, you're facing, or 3rd and 7, defense is showing one high pre-snap. You have this play called. Where are your eyes going? Beep. I'm one high. I'm double checking the safety, and I'm seeing if I can get the bang 8. I'm trying to see if I can get the skinny slant, the skinny post to the right. I'm sorry, that is incorrect. Anyone else like to buzz in? Michael Penix is like, darn. What are they trying to see? Like we'll look at it from Drake May's perspective because he's a UNC guy.
Okay.
They tell you and your agent, we're bringing you in on Friday, whatever day it is. You're going to be landing about the same time as J.J. McCarthy. You guys can catch the same Uber in. Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix will be here already. We'll get started around 3:30. What do you think? Because like agents, players, like what do you think is the strategy there? You have to have the firmest handshake. Try to break their hand. Make sure you order the steak at dinner, regardless of what they order. Like, are you seriously going to base who you draft at quarterback in the NFL draft with the number 2 overall pick based on, like, which one is the bully at the lunch table, like it's elementary school? I hate this for the Commanders. And by the way, who cares if they take charge of a room full of quarterbacks? It's one thing to dominate and lead the group of guys playing your same position. It's a complete other thing to lead the offensive line. They don't think, they don't act, they don't respond the same way quarterbacks do. That isn't what you're asking them to do. If I am a team evaluating quarterbacks and I'm bringing someone in like Drake May, who I am potentially about to give $30 million to be the face of my franchise, I want to judge them based on what they're going to have to do to be successful in my organization. And it's not like how well will you lead the quarterback room at the Pro Bowl if you make it with other quarterbacks from other teams. I want to judge you on throws, reads, accuracy, in-game things, and I want to judge you on leadership of a football team, not leadership of guys who you're never going to play with. How well do you assimilate into J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, and Michael Penix? Now, I will say this. Jaden Daniels' agent has gone on social media and liked a whole bunch of tweets saying how dumb this is. Not sure that's the best strategy either. I'm not sure that's the best because part of it is like, oh, he's strong-willed or, oh, he knows, he's I'm looking at it and saying if you're going to be the CEO of a franchise, you have to be at least a little bit of a company man, right? You have to back up decisions you don't agree with. Coach goes for it on 4th and 7. You don't get it. You can't be in the post game going like, yeah, in the huddle I was saying, Coach, we should probably punt it. Like, you can't be doing that. You kind of have to wear bad decisions made by your team occasionally.
Well, you want to spin zone this, it could be like, all right, this is awkward. Who handles the awkward well?
But like that's what I'm saying. That's what you're judging. Who is more like personable in awkward situations? I don't care. If my CEO quarterback of an NFL team, like we've all been there. Mm-hmm. You go to a wedding and your significant other is like the bridesmaid.
Yeah.
And you don't know anyone else at the wedding because it's college friends, and you just kind of have to be Steven Glansberg, sitting by yourself, and it's awkward and making small talk with someone's uncle who you don't know, but they're interested in your job, and now you're talking to them. Like, if you're good in that situation, what the heck does that say about how you're going to complete the pass with the rush in your face on 3rd and 9 with 2 minutes left in a goal-to-go situation? It says nothing. Like, imagine if they had all 4 come into Washington. They did this little group date. They played the games. They asked the questions. They had the meals. And then they left and went, I think we have to take J.J. McCarthy off our board. He and Drake May were awkward. We go, what does that have to do with football? What does that have to do with football?
All right, you made the Bachelor reference. Who gets the rose?
Who do I think gets drafted number 2? Drake May.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be Jaden Daniels. I predicted Jaden Daniels right up until his agent started trashing Washington. Agents are smart enough to know when a team is going to take them and when they aren't. This makes it seem like Jaden chose not to go to number 2. Rather than, oh, he was number 2 and then he went 4th or whatever he's going to go. So now I think Drake may. But we'll see. The draft isn't for another 5 shows and or 7 days.
7!
So I reserve the right to change my opinion 3 or 4 times. And until then, that's what the lead up to the draft is for. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Window Nation, my partners at Window Nation. I'm going to jump right into the deal here. Get it started. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free. That right there should perk your attention up, right? And guess what? There's no limit on that. If you have a house that has 500 windows, you can use it for all 500 of them. Buy 2, get 2 free. There's no limit on the savings there. Plus, 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 24 months. Also, if you live in a house with 500 windows, your energy bill is probably pretty high. These windows help with your energy bill. They keep the energy, meaning the air you cool with your air conditioner, the air you heat with your heater, they keep it inside. They don't let it leak through the cracks, the caulking, the actual glass. Window Nation's professional installation teams have over 10 years of experience. They can install your new windows in 1 day or less, and they come with a lifetime warranty. Get a free, no-obligation quote now, which includes a little consultation. They'll come out to your house, they'll look at your windows, and they will show you what they're trying to explain, right? If they want to show you how your cool air is getting out, they can literally like put your hands here. We'll have the cool air inside the window. We'll push it out. It's called 866, or the number to call is 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com to schedule. Once again, that website is windownation.com. Football 4 is coming up next. We have the audio from Dan Morgan, the new Panthers GM, Dave Canales, the new Panthers coach. They spoke to the media today for their pre-draft presser. The audio coming up.
You're always close to the Canes with 99.9 The Fan.
47 seconds left in overtime. Jarvis now his feet. Dropper, Natchez, he scores! Natchez in overtime, and the Canes win it 3-2!
Count on us to bring you every Canes game night and the latest Canes news from insider Adam Gold, your official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
To tell you that Keno picks 20 winning numbers, we wrote a winning number of our own. Hit it, boys. You pick up to 10. Keno picks 20. It's easy to play for a whole lot of money. Winning numbers are everywhere with Keno from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win a prize range from 1 in 3.86 to 16.63. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5544.
Carolina State Fairgrounds. Get details at good-guys.com.
Swing for the fences at BetMGM by boosting your next same-game parlay. Add an MLB same-game parlay wager to your bet slip and activate your Parlay Boost token. If your bet with the token applied hits, you'll get a bigger payout. Hey, it's Victoria Vodnecker here for BetMGM, and now is the perfect time to try a Boost token. Your BetMGM parlay can include bets on the money line, run line, total, and much more. Plus, make sure to check out signature bets for this baseball season where you can wager on fun props and scenarios for each game. Go to your BetMGM account today to claim your same-game Parlay Boost token and get a larger payout with a winning MLB wager. Make all 9 innings even more exciting with BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks and official sports betting partner of MLB. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older only. North Carolina only. Existing customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards or non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Dude Perfect here. Power up with the new smoothie we created with Smoothie King. It's loaded with pineapple, banana, kiwi apple juice, and more. Straw me, boys. Perfect shot.
Get the Dude Perfect smoothie only at Smoothie King.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. All that sunshine, bringing the heat. A high of 87 this afternoon. But we do cool off nicely tonight. Temperatures will drop into the mid to upper 50s, a little cooler than what we saw this morning. We'll wake up to sunshine tomorrow, but we'll see some isolated thunderstorms for Friday afternoon, a high of 83.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit Newcomb & Company. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 24 points to 37,777. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. There's only one place Football at 4 could have gone today. The Dungeons and Dragons duo, D&D, Dave and Dan, the alignment.
The alignment.
Dave Canales, the new coach. When do we stop calling him the new coach? Next year?
Yeah.
Still the new coach.
Maybe after game 1.
Okay. One game in, you're a vet now, coach.
Well, I mean,
kick off the training wheels. Time to go. After the first preseason game,
regular season.
Head coach Dave Canales and Dan Morgan had their pre-draft media availabilities earlier today. They had a lot to say. We've grabbed some of the clips that we thought were the most interesting, and we're going to play them for you now, starting with Dan Morgan on the free agency period and what they were able to do.
I feel we addressed a lot of needs in free agency, and I think that will, set us up nicely during the draft to, allow us to draft the best player available, and just take really good football players that fit what we want from a schematic standpoint, from a culture standpoint, and all those things we talked about in our presser. So we're really excited. Drafts, I wish it was here tomorrow, but it's not. We got to wait another week. So
that's the goal. That's what every GM hopes to accomplish. Free agency solves everything. So in the draft, you can just take the best players that are available at each of your picks. That's the dream. I think it's an unrealistic goal and dream for the Panthers this season. Because there's simply too much to do and not enough free agency money to do it with. They solved some problems, don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of glaring holes. Right? I don't think they're comfortable going into this season the way their wide receiver room looks right now. Right? So it's not just best player available for the Panthers because they have to walk out of day 2 with at least one wide receiver. If it were just best player available, you wouldn't even look at the positions, right? You'd give everyone a grade 1 to 100. You'd put them in order, and then you could set it on auto draft. You could just walk away and go, all right, whichever one's the best available, I'm going to take them. That's not the way it is for the Panthers. They have to judge wide receiver more urgently than interior offensive linemen. They have to judge safety or corner more urgently than interior defensive linemen. What if the best player available at pick 33 is a quarterback? You ain't taking him. Hopefully that would mean you could trade back and get a nice little ransom. But that is the dream, and he's selling it there about as aggressively as he could. Matter of fact, he continued selling their free agency run in this clip.
I think we were really happy how free agency played out. There was a few guys here and there that maybe we missed out on that we were targeting, but it really came together well for us. We're really happy how it ended, and, we're excited about the future.
I actually do believe him on this one. I think he recognizes that the roster is incomplete and they're not truly best player available, but I do think they were very intentional with their free agency.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They want to build from the interiors of the offense and defensive lines, and they went out and did it.
It's like, look where the money was spent.
Yep. I mean, I've broken this down for you a bunch of different ways. 2 of the top 4 highest paid offensive players on the team, the 2 guards.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 highest paid defensive players on the team, interior defensive linemen. Between Derek Brown, A'Shawn Robinson, and Shai Tuttle, the only one in that top 4 that isn't an interior defensive lineman is Jadeveon Clowney, who they also signed this free agency period as kind of a holdover to make sure that the Brian Burns absence isn't felt too greatly. I think they were very intentional, and they did what they wanted to do. Dave Canales, he's always good for a different kind of soundbite. Dan Morgan is going to give you the football. You can tell he was a linebacker when he played, and the guy loves the sport.
I'm not sure he's blinked yet.
Great point. Dave Canales is going to give you the same thing, but with a hint of like, this is the greatest day of my life. He with a hint of just sunshine and rainbows. Everything is awesome. Is that a Lego Movie song? I think that everything is awesome.
Oh, yes, it is.
Like I feel like that's playing in Dave Canales' head all the time.
Everything is better when it's done as a team.
Dave Canales on fortifying the offensive line.
Oh, I think it's big. I think it's really important what you just brought up. And my approach, our approach, is really like, how can we challenge this roster every year? So if it's free agency or the draft, it's like, let's attack all of our spots because we don't want any of our players to just be complacent and just be sitting there like, hey, I got this, no big deal. It's like, hey, no, we're growing. And so that's another position right there where I think this is a great opportunity for Corbs. I think this is I think for him, the way that he's wired, the person, it's a great opportunity for him, and if somebody falls to us that can challenge that position in that spot, then we got to take a serious look at it, and that goes across the board.
What a nice way to say, we might draft your replacement.
He's referring to Austin Corbett.
Austin Corbett, who's penciled in as the center right now. The guards are each making a bunch of money. They're not going anywhere. The tackles, one's a former, number 6 overall pick. The other's making a whole bunch of money. Mm-hmm. They're likely not going anywhere. So he said, oh, well, how exciting would it be for Corbs if we drafted his replacement? What? That's not exactly what he said, but it kind of was.
I mean, the Panthers really haven't had a dominant center since Ryan Khalil, like those days.
And even the last couple years with that, he was
but still,
it was from his peak. Yeah, you're right. It's just Dave, like the offensive line, first of all, if they do draft highly a center, if one falls to them at 33 or 39, who's the one from Powers Johnson, the guy from
West Virginia.
No, I think he's from Oregon.
Oregon, actually.
Yeah, I think he's from Oregon.
Paul's guy.
He's ranked super high on a lot of boards. He plays a position that's not premium. He might be there. If they end up taking him, then I say this with only a hint of sarcasm. Like 1997 offenses that gave the ball to running backs 35 times a game should blush at how often they give the ball to their running backs this year. If you, in free agency, your two big splash signings are guards, and then one of your best picks is a center, and then you have one of your highest paid offensive players at right tackle, and you don't put all that influx into receivers and tight ends and pass catchers, I'm talking 40 carries a game. I'm talking like Emmitt Smith numbers.
Chuba Hubbard, you're about to get 25 carries. Miles Sanders, you're going to get 15.
And we might draft a guy in the 5th round who's going to get another 10.
Yeah.
Like Bryce Young, what I really need you to do,
passes.
what I really need you to do is work on your reverse pivot and your handoff. Like get under center. We need to get him going downhill. Dave Canales was asked if this draft is about acquiring offensive firepower. Here's his answer.
I feel great about playing football right now with the group we have. I know that there's guys that are going to be able to help us, that can really challenge our play, elevate our play. This makes us all better. You bring in fresh blood, a rookie who's excited to go at whatever position. I just really think it turns on the whole room where everybody sits up a little bit straighter. You start to feel a little more agile, and you start to dial in your notes a little bit more. So it's part of the competitive nature of this thing. And yes, I think we should still target playmakers at every position skill-wise on the offensive side.
I feel good about playing football right now. Direct quote from Dave Canales. Do you know what Dave Canales, this analogy just popped into my head. Do you ever watch Impractical Jokers?
I have. I really don't watch it too often.
Okay, I don't watch it that often. They got rid of one of the guys. But there's one from like 10 years ago. I'll explain it to you, Cliff Notes version, where Murr, the smaller guy, was showing an apartment, right? It was like he was looking for a roommate. And the people in his ear, right? If you know Impractical Jokers, they have the little earpiece and you have to do whatever they tell you to do or you lose. And it's your buddies just trying to make you foolish. And he was like interviewing a roommate. The roommate came to tour the apartment. And all they kept telling him to do was get more excited, right? You're so excited, Murr. Be more excited. Jump on the couch. And the guy who he was interviewing, who was trying to be his roommate, he just built off the enthusiasm. By the end, they were both jumping up and down on the couch, going like, "This is gonna be so great. We're gonna be such great roommates." And I think that's Dave Canales. I want to go back and watch it again and see if that guy's Dave Canales. I think he's somebody that the more excited you get, the more excited he gets, and it's like Pong. It just bounces back and forth off of each other, and then all of a sudden you're jumping on the couch. Like, can you imagine if they're interviewing some wide receiver and he comes in for his top 30 visit to Charlotte and Dave Canales shakes his hand and says, "How are you doing?" And the guy goes, "I literally have never been better than I am today. I love football so much, Coach." Dave Canales is going to go, "So do I."
I feel great about playing football right now.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Like, oh my gosh, football. How great is the sport, right? The offense, the defense, it's so good. You want to catch passes? I want to call plays. I think that's how you get drafted. That would be my advice if I were an agent of somebody that's going to interview with the Panthers. You can't be too excited. When you're in there, be jacked up. Take some pre-workout right before you get there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
This just gets me.
I feel great about playing football right now.
It's April.
Right now.
It's April. We just finished taxes.
I feel great about playing football right now.
Put the ball down. Let's play. You versus me, one-on-ones. Your all-time quarterback. Let's play football. Tackling drill. But there are certain coaches like that. I don't think it's an act. There are coaches that, like, you'll be in walkthrough and your punter will put up like a half a punt, a little short-legged, and he'll just be like, "Wow, what placement. Way to go." And you're like, it's a walkthrough, coach. Yeah, but did you see the arc on it?
Yeah, right?
Ooh, let's go.
It feels so good.
I feel great about playing football right now.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I feel good about playing football right now. I want to tell you about my friends over at Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. 919-447-3377. Get your pens and papers ready. I will give you that number one more time in just a minute or two. They are the home of the no closing cost loan, which gives you so many opportunities to take advantage of the market, right? If you are signing up for a mortgage and you think the rates are a little high, don't go into your pocket for closing costs knowing you're going to be refinancing as soon as the rates drop, and hopefully they do soon. On the flip side, if you already locked into a high mortgage rate and you're not super excited about it, be prepared to call Miller Lending and take advantage when the rates drop with no closing cost, which will save you money out of your pocket, right? Don't expect, I use this stat all the time, the average mortgage is less than 4 years, and it's been that way for decades. So you're always thinking about like, oh, let me make sure I buy down this rate, or, oh, for the next 30 years I'm going to be paying this much, when in actuality, on average, it's less than 4 years before you're refinancing, before you're getting a new mortgage, before you're moving. So think about it like that. You don't want to pay closing costs and fees each and every time. Stop paying to buy down rates. Stop paying closing costs and fees, and instead call Miller Lending. I promised you that phone number. Here it is, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. Hurricanes and cons. What are you most confident and most concerned about when it comes to the Hurricanes entering the postseason? Next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Robert in Raleigh, listening on 99.9 The Fan. What's up, Robert?
I got to go leftovers, macaroni and cheese. Michelle, I know you don't eat leftovers. My wife grew up eating leftovers. She'll bake a peach pie from scratch, have one piece, and then it's old. And I've heard you talking about where the best pizza's from. If you've not had Pepe's, Sally's, or Modern Pizza, they're all right there in New Haven, Connecticut.
Yep. Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Getting ready to take on spring? Make your first move with the reliable performance and power of Steel battery tools. From hedge trimmers and mowers to string trimmers and more, save on select Steel battery tools. Right now, save $50 on the RMA 460V lawnmower battery set. Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. With AK30 battery and AL101 charger. Offer valid for a limited time only while supplies last. See participating dealer for details.
Pulling up to Mickey D's just for drinks? Oh yeah, that's me. Nothing extra, just perfection and a straw. Coming in hot for the coldest cups on the block. Because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
Now get an ice cold lemonade, frozen Coca-Cola, or iced coffee. Any size for just $1.79.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? Research shows consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in, sell it to We Buy Any Car. Get your free online valuation now at
We Buy Any Car.
Research published in the Journal of Industrial Economics, December 2015, showed buyers with a trade-in pay an average of $990 more than those who do not trade in their used cars.
Adam Gold here for the one and only Dr. Lori Travers at Travers LASIK, and I had LASIK surgery more than a dozen years ago, and people have asked me, Adam, wasn't that expensive? I'm not sure I can afford that. And I say all the time, well, how much does it cost you every year to get new contacts, to get new glasses, to get prescription sunglasses, to buy all the solutions, do everything you need? Because you're going to lose the glasses, by the way. You're going to lose your prescription sunglasses like you lose every other pair of sunglasses. How much does that cost? Well, what if I told you that 24 months, zero financing was available? It's more affordable than you think, and we're going to kick in $1,000 promotion for the spring. That's right. You'll save $1,000 at Travers LASIK. Now, it seems a lot more affordable. It's also painless, 5 minutes per eye. You could be back to work the very next day. All you have to do is pick pick up the phone now. 919-510-6830. And $1,000 off for the spring. 919-510-6830. Travers Lasik.
Looking for a great deal on golf gear? Then swing by Global Golf's newly remodeled store and see why we're North Carolina's largest pre-owned club store. This week, receive an additional 15% off pre-owned clubs and great deals on bags, shoes, and apparel. You'll also find the latest from TaylorMade, Callaway, Titleist, and more. This Saturday, save even more at our sidewalk sale. It's all happening this week through Saturday at Global Golf, located in North Raleigh, 7320 ACC Boulevard. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. N61, visit staples.com/print for details.
Progressive asks, what do an escaped leopard,
We're live from the zoo where a leopard has escaped.
a growling stomach, an uneaten tuna sandwich, and a backdoor doggy door have in common? They can lead to an unexpected kitchen renovation.
Yeah, hi. Is this the zoo? Your leopard is in my kitchen.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time for Hurricans and Cons. What are we most confident in? What are we most concerned about heading into the postseason for the Carolina Hurricanes? We'll also update the Hurri-Confidence Meter. This, you could argue, is the most important cons and cons we do all season for the Carolina Hurricanes. Because you are going into, obviously, the most important stretch of hockey they're going to play all year. I've argued all year that before Saturday, right, where they play Saturday, 5 o'clock against the Islanders, Game 1, first round, NHL postseason, before Saturday, the Canes could prove nothing to me. Nothing. Because they're not going to be judged based on how good they were in the regular season. It doesn't matter. This team, this core, this coach, this GM, this group will be judged on what they do in the postseason. I've been comparing them to the Bills because the Bills were kind of that way. You're right. There's nothing Josh Allen can prove in the regular season. He just has to get past Patrick Mahomes and win a Super Bowl to justify all the hype. You know what else? Another team, and I hate to say this because they were the team I grew up rooting for. The Sixers. The Sixers are that way. And guess what? They had to win a play-in game last night just to make it into the postseason. But guess what? Nobody cares, right? Beat the Knicks, beat whoever you have next. If you win it all, that's what you're judged on once you've been to the Eastern Conference Finals as many times as they have, once you've been to the postseason, once you've been a top seed, once you've done all of that. And the Canes are the same way. So we're about to go into Hurricans and Cons. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about? You could argue the first time it matters. Who cares what you're confident in December? Who cares what you're confident in halfway through February? All that matters is what are you confident in and what are you concerned about going into the end of April. Now, as always, we have good news and bad news. Which do you want first? You take the bad news. I'll go concern. Here's my concern. And this is my caveat, my disclaimer that I've been given the past few times. We're nitpicking here.
Yeah.
The concerns are hard to find. No team is perfect, but the concerns are hard to find. My concern is exhaustion. And the reason why I say that is they play a demanding style of hockey. And the NHL postseason is a marathon for teams that don't play quite as demanding. Like, if you play the most easy style of hockey, all those 7-game series back-to-back, all that intensity, all that travel, it's exhausting for the most well-rested, not super demanding teams. The Canes ask, particularly their defense, to really, like, every day empty the tank. Every game, you're walking off exhausted. You're skating off exhausted. So, you know, as I said earlier, I do think it matters how many games it takes them to put away teams in the first 2 rounds. I don't want a 7-gamer in the first or second round, even with a win. When some would say, oh, win's a win, advance, I'm going, they're going to be mighty tired after that. If you can do it in 5, that's way better than doing it in 6. And 6 is way better than doing it in 7.
Well, I think that's the reason why you brought in Dmitry Roloff. That's the reason why we've probably seen this season Jacob Slavin actually played the fewest minutes per game in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? Those extra minute against, it's only a minute. It adds up over the course of a season. So I think
80 minutes.
You're going to see exactly. But it's only an extra minute a game. But over the course of a season, it builds up. I think you're going to see, because of the depth on defense, I think you're going to see those guys be trusted in any situation. And you didn't have to tax Slavin and Burns as much during the regular season.
What's your concern?
My concern is, can we see the regular season Martin Necas in the postseason?
Interesting.
Because last year...
This is another sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but this is another basketball thing where, players are seen there's, playoff Jason. There's playoff Paul, right, for Jason Tatum and Paul George. Playoff Jimmy for Jimmy Butler is like a monster. He's the top 10 player in the league. Regular season Jimmy, not that. Paul George, reverse, right? Regular season, at times he's been a top 10 player in the league. Playoff P, as he calls himself, not the same. Martin Necas, you're saying there's a bit of playoff Martin is not the same level as regular season Martin?
There's a lot less space to work with in the playoffs. The physicality ramps up. Can he handle that now? Because this very much is a prove-it year for him in terms of he's going to be a restricted free agent this offseason. We all know his skill level. Can he do the dirty work in the corner to fight for a puck battle? Can he actually get between the face-off dots on the offensive side of the ice and get to the slot and actually score as opposed to skating around on the perimeter? Last year in 15 playoff games, he had 7 points, which isn't bad, but it's not the level of production you would hope. But 4 of those points came on the power play. Now you're thinking, okay, well, that's great. They got 4 power play points. I'm not going to dismiss that, but what are you doing 5-on-5? What are you bringing to the ice in 5-on-5 situations? We have not seen that from Martin Necas. 2 years ago in the 2021-2022 playoffs, in 14 games, didn't even score a goal. We got to see more from Martin Necas in the postseason. If they have that on a line opposite of Aho, Gensel, and Jarvis, and then obviously we know what Stahl, Svetch, and Martinook can do together. If he can bring it, lights out, watch out.
He is kind of I'd say one of 3 or 4 difference makers that make it so all 4 lines are feared.
Yes, it has to be. Has to be.
Playoff Necas. I like that as a question. Playoff Necas. Let's get to the Hurri-Confidence Meter. Oh, wait.
No, we got to hear our confidence.
Why am I going to skip the optimistic part? My confidence stems from one individual.
Okay.
And it's not who you're thinking. And I can say that confident. You could be thinking Gensel. Nope. You could be thinking Aho. Nope. Jarvis. Nope. Freddie. Nope. Slavin. Nope. Jordan Stahl.
Okay.
I think the captain knows what opportunity he has and how desperately he wants it. There's the sibling thing. Eric Stahl has one. Jordan Stahl doesn't.
Well, not with Carolina. He had one early in his career.
But no, I'm talking with Carolina.
Gotcha.
Pittsburgh, do we count that?
I mean, for him, yeah.
No, not for his. What they mean to Carolina is different. He knows. I think he desperately wants to hoist the cup. He wants to pass it to Aho. He wants to have that moment. He wants it there's who was? Oh, no, it was ironically, because this guy's been everywhere, and he's actually a little overexposed right now. Getting a little tired of it. But Jason Kelce gave the speech to the young guys, right? Right before the postseason. I'm not sure if Stahl is that dude, but his actions, his vibe will make sure everybody is aware. These chances don't come around as often as you think they do. We're like, hey, Jarvis, I know your first year playing all the games, you made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it feels like you have a cup contender your second year. There's no guarantee you're going to have this chance every single year, right? You might only get a couple true chances to go after it in your career. This is one of them. I think Jordan Stahl, his urgency is part of the confidence I have in a team that has all the skill. We've talked about the skaters. We've talked about the goalies. Like, they have all the skill they need to win it. Now they need to make sure they have the between the ears, and I think the captain will help them do that.
There are a couple of different ways I can go with my confidence.
Confidence had a lot to choose from.
A lot to choose from. Go a lot of different places. But I'm going to go to one thing. It was a major concern for a long time for us. And now it's a position of strength. Goaltending. It's goaltending. Because with the way Freddie Anderson has been playing, I talked to Trip Tracy about this when I was filling in for Adam Gold on Friday last week for Stormwatch. And I asked him about Freddie's play because it felt like he's in midseason form. When Freddie during the season, when he had his blood clot issue came up, his medical condition of the blood clotting, he was told to just shut things down. Could not skate, couldn't do any of these things. So how Freddie approached it was like an off season. So the way when he was able to get back on the ice and when he was able to start training, he treated it like an off season. So when he was able to play, like, he's treating it like the start of the year. So he's like getting into midseason form and has like the freshness of a guy who's going into like the second month of a season as opposed to the fifth or sixth month of the year. And to me, that's massive. That fact that he's playing with such a high level and with such confidence, and his body overall relative to others is fresh. It's a great thing.
We're going to ask this question tomorrow because I saw Rod actually kind of addressed it with the media. Do you entertain staying 1-1? Freddie Kochetkov, knowing that it's been working.
It's working.
And Freddie's been unreal, but with the one-on-one off, Freddie's been well-rested.
Like, for sure.
Is part of the 95% save percentage, which is bananas.
I know.
Because Piotr is taking every other game. Do you entertain? I mean, it would be unusual.
It would be, because like the old school thought is you got to ride one guy. You know? Like, you have to.
Get him into a rhythm, let him see a ton of shots and everything else.
Let the one guy cook. I don't hate the idea of it. I really don't. Because guess what? If you go to Piotr Kochetkov, let's say Freddie starts the first two games. You go to Kochetkov game 3. You go right back to Freddie game 4. You know, like, that's the thing. It's just, I think some of it might also determine, we don't know what the schedule is after game 1. Game 2 could be on Tuesday, so you might have an extra day in between. I don't know. That's a really good question.
I think we have to, and that's why this is what we call in the business a tease. We'll have to dive into that conversation a bit more tomorrow, but would you entertain kind of an unorthodox one-on, one-off goalie rotation because you have two guys playing well? Tomorrow on The Drive. Right now, we have to update the Hurri-Confidence Meter. I didn't even know we had this ability. I thought for the last month, essentially, we've had the Hurri-Confidence Meter as far to the positive, the green side, the full gas tank side as we possibly could. But it turns out we can move it even further. And we've done it. We are a little bit like 1 degree actually over the edge of how good we can go. This is plan the parade all the way to the furthest possible situation.
Think of it, if you filled up your gas tank even like too much where it's like pouring out.
You topped it off like you're not supposed to.
Exactly. And then it's like just past like the full line. That's where we are.
Your tank takes like 16 gallons and you got like 16.3 in there. You're like, I was really empty. Yeah. And now it's really full. We're all the way. We're really full. Plan the parade. We're planning the after party to the parade.
Yeah.
We're planning where we're going after the parade.
Where should the parade end? I think Red Hat downtown be a great spot to end the parade. Get the stage. You can have a crowd inside there. I think it'd be pretty awesome.
You need to think of where the speeches are going to be.
Yeah.
You need to think of where the speech, PNC would make sense. Are you going to start it there?
I don't know, but you're going to end how you're going to go parade down Wade Avenue? That'd just be awkward.
Interesting. See, this is why we need to plan the parade. We need to actually plan.
We've got 2 months.
It's It's a marathon. But we are as far confident as we possibly can be for health. At the moment, Jesper Fost, we don't know about him, but for the most part, the main characters looking pretty solid. The goaltending, I mean, when you're debating should you play two, that means you got two guys playing pretty well. The top line, we've talked about them enough. They're trusted in high pressure, need to score situations. The best part about making the attack, the forwards, a priority and increasing at the trade deadline what they are is you didn't have to touch the defense really. You still have a typical Rod Brind'Amour, Carolina Hurricanes defensive pairing group. I'm as confident as I've been in this team. Peaking at the right time. It does feel a really long time. Do you remember the first month? Do you remember that they were losing games? What's going on here? Do you remember the trade deadline? I'll raise my hand on this one. I wanted him to trade for a goalie.
Oh, yeah.
I'll raise my hand on that one. It wasn't my best take, but we feel so far removed from those situations where the confidence was waning. So credit to him. Plan the parade. Plan the after party. Be prepared. Scout's honor.
What about Fayetteville Street? Go right there, like downtown, like right there, Fayetteville Street. You know what? Do it right there, like in the Capitol building. Just boom. Like where they have like, Brew Glue and all those kinds of things.
I'm fine with it.
Just take up Fayetteville Street.
I like it.
City
Shut
Plaza.
it down.
Actually, City Plaza right there. That'd be pretty
decent parking down there, too.
Yeah, but it'd be crowded.
I mean, it's going to be crowded. Hopefully, like, 1 million people, something like that.
I'll be there.
500,000? I don't know. A lot of people.
Darn right, I'm going to be there.
I'm trying to lobby to get a station car. We're just gonna piggyback on Adam Gold being the Canes guy and be like, well, you'll sit shotgun. Someone has to sit in the back of the truck.
Like we're the flagship station. Of course, we're gonna have a truck going through there.
That's what I mean. I'm not trying to be watching the parade. I'm trying to be in the parade.
I know. Let's do it.
I've seen other radio stations when their team won. I was very jealous. There's a station that I know some people at that a particular show got rings when their NHL team won. Tom Dundon, excuse me, if you're listening. Probably shouldn't have messed up your name.
Yeah.
With an NFL
Tom
agent.
Condon, too.
Yeah. Hey, why not? Tom Dundon, if you're listening, just throwing that out there. If you know him, let him know. We're interested. We'd wear it. I'd keep it right here next to me on the desk. It would be here for everybody to see. It'd be a very, very good promotional activity for you.
By the way, a little bit of NHL news before we move on to the next thing. The Arizona Coyotes officially sold. They're moving to Salt Lake City.
Did you see what happened with Shane Doan?
Yeah.
This is unreal. So the Coyotes are leaving Arizona. I never like when a team leaves. Okay, I just know that it's heartbreaking to the fans that be beloved those teams. I never like it. I don't like when the Supersonics leave Seattle. I don't like the only one I'm okay with is Hartford.
Because we get Whalers night.
Yeah, it's cool. They're cool jerseys. I like that we get the Hartford Whalers stuff. But that one I'm okay with because they came here. And any other relocations that want to come here, I'm fine with that one too. Major League Baseball. But what it's always tough. But it does feel like Arizona kind of earned this one. It does feel from the problem. They were homeless for a while, right? They didn't have the arena. The support waned and ebbed and flowed. But the Shane Doan jersey thing is wild to me. So Shane, he had his jersey in the rafters.
Shane Doan was like the face of the franchise for a long, long time.
The
Arizona Coyotes.
Like Mr. Coyote kind of, Mr. Arizona Coyote. So he has his jersey in the rafters, and then whatever happens with their arena, the lease runs out. They don't agree to business, right? Business gets in the way of hockey, and they have to go play. They're playing at a college arena, right?
Arizona State.
So they're playing there, and I guess there were some attempts to contact the team, but maybe they weren't. People are saying things. He said, she said. But the actual jersey that was hanging in the rafters, nobody came to pick it up. Maybe they didn't know to pick it up. Maybe they didn't think to pick it up. It just got thrown away.
Yeah.
Shane Doan's jersey that was literally hanging in the stadium just got like put in a dumpster. And somehow a fan noticed, grabbed it, got it, and the fan had to return it to Shane Doan. How does that happen? How? Imagine, like, I don't even want to do the whole hypothetical with a legendary Kane. But imagine, like, a fan has to be the one to go dumpster diving so the face of your franchise can not have his rafters jersey thrown away.
Think about if the Canes weren't playing in PNC Arena anymore. They were playing at the Ice
business reasons.
Whatever it is. And Cam Ward's jersey was just hanging up there. No one for the Canes went to go pick it up to move it and just got thrown away.
You would think as soon as they're playing anywhere else, they would grab it and go hang it where they're playing.
Or something, yeah.
Hang it in their practice arena. Hang it in the offices. Give it to him. I don't know. That's ridiculous to me. Absolutely absurd that even became a thing. Hey, everybody, go ahead and text keyword KING, K-I-N-G, to 919-860-5326 to enter for a chance to win a $25 Smoothie King gift card. The keyword KING, K-I-N-G, to 919-860-5326 to enter for a chance to win a $25 Smoothie King gift card. Right now, I want to tell you, additionally, about Capital Financial Advisory Group, my partners over there, including my good friend Coach Pete. The reality, ready, is that Coach Pete and I speak the same language. We love analogies. One of the ones he uses is financial termites that can get in there and erode your retirement savings. If there's one thing Coach Pete hates, it's financial termites, which is why he works tirelessly to help you exterminate and eliminate them from your plan. A termite, what is a financial termite? It's a fee. It's a commission. It's a risk you don't know you're exposed to, right? Any of these things that are coming out of your money that you are unaware of, right? They're eroding like termites out of sight, out of mind until all of a sudden it's a big, big problem. Coach Pete will help you regain control of your foundation for retirement and see you to and through a worry-free retirement. They can do the double check. They have a 22-step, yes, 22 steps of a process that they use to identify your unique financial composition and the best way to exterminate those termites and navigate the journey along the way to and through your retirement future. Coach Pete is committed to helping you retire like a champion, get you through the financial red zone, over the goal line, and into that retirement end zone. It's another good analogy. Call 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Or if you're more of a texter than a caller, feel free to just text my name, T-I-M, Tim, to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700. Make sure they know we sent you. We're going to take a break. When we come back, let me make sure I get to the right spot here. Oh, it's time for a little feedback frenzy. We hear from you. That's right, your feedback on our YouTube, on social media, and we respond to the best comments. We've had a bunch recently, so we wanted to hit a frenzy. We get frenzied. Coming up next.
It's Bo time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or a 2 bird dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Having pain like that and not knowing how you caused it and for how long it's lasting, it's debilitating.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson hated not being able to live her life to the fullest due to joint pain. But then she called QC Kinetics, where regenerative treatments helped her pain go away.
The result was phenomenal.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using natural biologics to restore and repair damaged joint tissue.
This was a great alternative for me as opposed to going in and possibly having surgery or something else. There was no downtime, and that's what I loved. My life is too busy for me to be sidelined.
If you're tired of constant pain from arthritis or injury, don't think the old treatments are the only treatments. Discover regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
Just to feel good and know that I'm out of pain is the best thing ever. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 919-400-5473. That's 919-400-5473. In Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest, 919-400-5473.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
April is here. And if your windows won't open for fresh air or seal tight to keep out pollen and bugs, then talk to Window Nation right now. For every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, you could save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. With proven quality, you'll get affordable windows that meet or beat the national brands. Don't miss out. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9, The Fan, feedback frenzy time. We encourage you always, maybe too much, to hop on our YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, to hit us up on Twitter at 99.9 The Fan, to interact with us in a whole host of different ways on the internet. And to make sure that that feedback is being heard, we occasionally get frenzied. We go into a feedback frenzy. We hear from you. We react. We respond. We defend some of our takes. We agree with you on others. Dennis, what do you got?
So yesterday we had a conversation about UNC basketball and how they're really, as of late, not putting out the quote-unquote NBA star talent that we've used to seeing. It's been a long time since they've really had like a true like all-star player in the NBA. So based off that conversation, a lot of people just like wanted to point out to you that Coby White dropped 42 last night.
Yeah.
For the Chicago Bulls, and they're playing game victory over the Atlanta Hawks.
Remember when I started this and I said with some, I'm just going to agree with you?
Yep.
I think I just have to wear that one. I got to take one for the team.
Yeah.
I will say, like, that doesn't make Coby White an all-star, but I'm not going to I'm even though I just kind of was. I'm not going to be the guy that looks at a 40 burger in a play-in game and goes like, "Yeah, but it's you won that round. You won that round. We'll go to the cards at the end of the fight, but that round goes to you." So, congrats, Coby White. It's pretty darn impressive.
All right, next one, actually, off that same thing. Someone actually brought up how the top NBA draft picks generally actually don't need to go to college now because, there's a lot of guys who maybe go play overseas. Also, guys may go G League Ignite, something along those lines, Overtime Elite. So, college basketball necessarily isn't the only path like it used to be in order to get to the NBA.
That's why, if you listen to that full segment, probably about 2/3 in, we compared it to one of their rivals, Duke. Because Duke is still cranking out NBA prospects and NBA players and top draft picks. And Paulo Banchero was a number 1 overall pick 2 years ago, and he's already got his team into the playoffs as a 5 seed, and he's already leading his team in points, rebounds, and assists with the Orlando Magic. So it's if like everyone universally was having that downturn in NBA production, it's a great argument. It's hard to make that argument when a team in your same conference that you're competing with for conference championships every year, that's however many miles away, it's not many, is still doing the things that you used to be doing. So that's my rebuttal on that one. I won't wear that one.
All right, this one comes from James, who says,
What's up, James?
Blame Roy Williams for that. His system never was good for actual players to transition to the next level.
There might be something to.
I thought that was a little bit interesting. All right.
Yeah, there might be something to that. When that comment, like I said, we do read those. When we read that one, I asked this question: who's the best NBA player to play for Roy Williams in college? Harrison Barnes?
Yeah.
Kirk Heinrich?
Kansas?
That's from the Kansas
years.
Nick
Kansas.
Collison has his jersey retired by the Thunder.
Also Kansas player.
Raymond Felton.
I mean, Marvin Williams played in the NBA for a long time.
Danny Green.
Probably Danny Green.
2-time NBA champion.
Yeah.
There might be something to it. But it also might be maybe it's not his system that doesn't develop him. He might have been a guy that valued veteranship and didn't go after the one-and-dones. And even though, Brandon Wright did sneak in there occasionally. Might be something to Roy. I'll agree with you on that one.
All right, next one. This one actually comes from our conversation yesterday about the Carolina Panthers, about how they need to upgrade at tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one actually comes from Kessler. Kessler says, tight end is a dying position in the league. Don't waste our already little draft capital on a tight end. We have so many other holes. We need big playmakers, which typically isn't coming from tight end outside of Kelsey, which is an outlier.
Well, what you don't realize, and I hate even saying that phrase, tight ends allow the other positions to make big plays. Mm-hmm. And I explained this a bit yesterday. It's personnel versatility, right? So here's what I mean by that. And by the way, it's not just Kelsey. It's Mark Andrews. It's Sam Laporta. It's Trey McBride. It's George Kittle. It might be Kyle Pitts this year. It's Dalton Kincaid. There's a lot of it's Evan Engram. There's a lot of tight ends out there that are making it happen.
Look what Sam Laporta did with Detroit as a rookie, as a second-round pick.
So here's what I mean when I say personnel versatility. You put Sam Laporta on the field. You might attach him to the tackle. You might use him as an extra offensive lineman. And in that case, the opposing team wants to have an extra linebacker on the field because you might run it with David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. And you don't want to be outsized when they're trying to power the ball at you. However, as soon as you put that linebacker on the field, now you split out Sam Laporta. You have a safety guarding someone. It might not even be Laporta. It might be Amon-Ra St. Brown. So now Amon-Ra St. Brown, absolutely whips a linebacker or a safety with his route. He scores a big play. The commenter's going, see, wide receiver makes another big play. I'm going, all of that was created by Laporta's versatility. Look at the best offenses. The best offenses in the league pretty much overwhelmingly have either a running back that can do that, can split out wide, or a tight end that can split out wide and essentially act as another wide receiver. So whichever way you get there, you need positional versatility within your personnel. Tight ends do that. I think it's worth drafting.
All right, this one goes off to the conversation that we had yesterday about the Carolina Hurricanes saying, hey, you know what? No excuses for the Carolina Hurricanes.
None.
This one actually comes from Josh Friedman. Carolina is one of the teams facing the most pressure this playoffs, along with Toronto and Edmonton.
Is pressure an excuse?
No, I think he's just more or less just pointing out, Carolina faced a lot of pressure because they've been knocking on the door. This is year 6 under Rob Brindamore. They've been getting to the Eastern Conference Finals twice, including just last year. Like, all right, the pressure is to get it done. It's not good enough anymore to get to the second round.
I don't disagree. And I would actually say the no excuses line adds to the pressure, right? There's something freeing in knowing, like, hey, if we don't win this year, we didn't have Svetch, right? Hey, if we don't win this year, we got a really young team. Hey, if we don't win this year, at least our fans were excited that we made the postseason for the first time in 10 years. Like, there's something with, like, it's house money, right? This year's already a success. Or, hey, we got bit by the injury bug in a really bad way. What are you going to do? Like, there's something safe there. When you don't have those excuses, it's like, if we don't win, it's because we didn't win. There's all the pressure is on us, and if we don't win, we got to look in the mirror and say, that one's on us. Yeah, I would agree. The Canes have about as much pressure on them as anybody. You have one more?
One quick one here. This off that same conversation that we had yesterday. This one comes from Fallout. The difference, Fallout says they now have a Martin Necas jersey. Last year, had no jersey, therefore Hurricanes winning with Necas getting that cup winner.
I'm not superstitious, but if you're superstitious, be superstitious.
Yes.
Wear the Necas jersey.
Just a little.
Playoff Necas. Make it a thing. I was going to explain playoff Necas. Go back and listen to it earlier. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Underdog Sportsbook. As we all know, sports betting, it's alive and thriving here in the state of North Carolina. But you know, if you want to get in on the action, maybe we've been talking some NHL playoffs. We've been also discussing NBA playing games. Maybe it's Major League Baseball. Whatever your cup of tea is, Underdog Sportsbook has your back. And that's one of the things I actually like about Underdog Sportsbook. Actually, I'll tell you the thing I love most about Underdog is that anytime I open up the app, it's so easy to navigate. I know exactly where I got to go. It's simple. You go click on exactly the game you want to. You can find your parlays. You can find your spread. Like, for example, you might want to look at Bam Adebayo. He's from the state of North Carolina. You can maybe go over-under on his number of rebound totals for when the Heat have to play the Chicago Bulls. Or maybe you can even look at when the Pelicans play the Kings. And, okay, De'Aaron Fox, maybe I'll go over his 27.5 points, or you can go under, however you think the game's going to shake out. You can parlay things together. That's where Underdog Sportsbook is giving you an easy opportunity for you to find exactly what you want, and it's so easy to navigate and find what you're looking for. And you can do that as well. Download the Underdog Sportsbook app on iOS or Android. Sign up with the promo code Dennis, my name, and use your first bet mulligan, which returns up to $1,000 as bonus funds if your first bet loses. That's Underdog Sportsbook, promo code Dennis. Must be 21 plus to gamble and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov or call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply and can be found in the Underdog Sportsbook app.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back. Thank you to everybody providing the feedback, by the way. We'll be back in a second with the starting five, including North Carolina football. Mac Brown hiding something. What could it be? Next.
We were born ready.
Let's go Hurricanes!
The Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Burns, rebound, score, Seth Jarvis.
Let's go Canes!
Dean wide open, rebound, and what a save by Anderson.
Let's go!
Orloff settled, shot right on, gets it with a second try, swim against it, they score!
The win or go home season arrives soon. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Enjoy the ride.
What are you doing?
I'm training for the new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs. I could get a chance to dash through a warehouse full of prizes.
That explains the shopping cart.
Plus, I could win up to $2 million in cash.
And that explains the tuxedo.
I'm chafing.
Feel the rush with new Ultimate Dash Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.78. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. but she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
At WakeMed MyCare 365, we deliver convenience others only talk about. Every day of the year. Primary care and urgent care under one roof. Multiple locations, virtual visits, walk-in or schedule an appointment online. From annual physicals and routine care to sinus infection, strep, or the flu, we couldn't be more convenient. Learn more about our kind of care and our kind of convenience at wakemed.org.
It's back!
Words you never want to hear when it comes to plumbing. Better call NCK's Plumbing and Backflow. We're Wake County's first choice for plumbing services. We can save the day all kinds of ways. We offer water heaters, drain cleaning, backflow testing, and more, and use state-of-the-art technology to diagnose and repair existing problems. You'll want us back because we recommend the most cost-effective and energy-efficient solutions. CKSplumbing.com, Wake County's first choice for residential and commercial plumbing services.
Dude Perfect here. Power up with the new smoothie we created with Smoothie King. It's loaded with pineapple, banana, kiwi apple juice, and more. Straw me, boys. Perfect shot. Get the Dude Perfect smoothie only at Smoothie King.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code GEAR for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code GEAR for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code GEAR.
It's the final days of Diamond's Direct Spring Sale. This is your last chance to get 20% off store-wide. Plus, book an appointment and you'll get an additional $100 off your purchase. You don't want to miss this. 20% off rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. And a huge selection of the latest styles with in-store designer appearances. 20% off ends this Sunday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
This hour on the Triangle Sports Leader is brought to you by the Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Shoots, he scores!
Go to GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Another warm day today with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Tonight stays dry and mild. We'll have an increase in the cloud cover overnight tonight with temperatures in the mid 50s to near 60 degrees. Scattered showers and storms possible Friday afternoon and evening with a high temperature of 84.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 22 points today to 37,775. Market update brought to you by Habitat for Humanity Restore, now selling brand new solid wood custom cabinets. Learn more at trianglerestores.org. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five, and as always, we start with number 5. Eventually. UNC has asked and agreed with the ACC network to not have their spring game on ACC Network. They fulfilled the obligations, whatever deal they have by having the ACC Network crew at a practice. They had the interviews. They talked with Tez Walker. They talked with Mac Brown. They checked all the boxes. But the spring game will not be televised. I thought news of this, and apparently it had been decided for a while, but I thought news of this was interesting because most schools, the kind of agreed consensus of how schools operate is you don't pass up the opportunity to show the world anything good amongst your program. If you have stands with fans in them, you want a camera on those fans, and you want that camera to show it on national television as many times as possible.
Yeah, you want to brag.
You'd be surprised, and this might be letting you know something about how sports nerdy I am.
Okay.
You'd be surprised how many times it's like 11, 20, maybe a Canes game just got over. Maybe it was a close game, so the adrenaline's still pumping, and I'm like, all right, I gotta unwind here a little bit before I go to sleep. So I'm just looking for something to watch, something to mindlessly watch. The ACC Network will have Duke's spring game from 2021 on, and I'm like, well, what's going to put me right to sleep? Here we go. But
Let's see how that Riley Leonard guy looks.
Yeah, hey, sore spot for Blue Devil fans. But those spring games get replayed a lot, and it's a choice to not have your spring game in that rotation. You are giving up some kind of public awareness when that's happening. So you better have a reason, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the end of the world or they're going to completely regret this, but I'm saying if you don't want the ACC Network at your spring game, why? Right? Why? Few reasons I came up with. One, they do have a new defensive scheme that they're installing. Two, they do have a quarterback competition. So maybe those are things they want to keep secret. They don't want to make a huge deal out of which quarterback goes out there first, because I was a part of a spring game one time where we literally decided which quarterback went out with the first team first by way of drawing straws. I think we did. Coach has a 1 or a 2 behind his back, and we chose. It was flip a coin essentially. That. You don't want articles written about. You don't want the national media going, Johnson was out there first. That must mean he has an advantage. And you're going no, literally in the locker room we flipped a coin. It means nothing. So maybe they're just being secretive. Maybe they're trying to tamp down hype. And by the way, of the ACC teams, UNC is not the most hyped right now. Of the Triangle teams, UNC is not the most hyped right now. That would be NC State due to their portal spending. Maybe UNC likes it that way. Maybe Mac Brown wants to keep it that way. Maybe he's tired of winning the offseason and wants to win the season, because they've won the offseason a few times in the last handful of years. Hasn't gone well for them. Maybe they want to be the hunter rather than the hunted. And he's just saying, keep the cameras away. We'll give you the minimum access that you require, but keep the cameras away. Possibly. Anything else I'm missing there? Reasons why you wouldn't want the spring game?
No.
Maybe he just doesn't like ACC Network?
Well, he should. Pays money.
Maybe that's it. Maybe they're mad. They're granted rights. They want out. They're trying to make.
Oh, now we're getting deep into the weeds here.
You want to put a full tinfoil hat on, do a conspiracy theory?
We could do that.
We need to do a segment called Tinfoil Hat, and all we do is bring our favorite conspiracy theories.
Yes, we got to make
with
that
happen. We need ominous music.
Play X-Files.
Yeah, exactly. Or Twilight Zone. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Coby White. Yeah. One of my favorite parts of sports is what Coby White was able to do following a conversation we had yesterday. Right? And I say this all the time. One of the best parts about sports is you have to play the games. And you can prove people wrong, and you can go out there and put the results on the scoreboard. So yesterday, we did a whole segment. The whole segment was spurred by a realization I had based on a Twitter post from UNC Basketball. UNC Basketball put out a Twitter post that said, good luck to our guys in the NBA playoffs or postseason. And it was all former North Carolina players that were in the postseason. And I went like, they had Pete Nance, they had this guy, they had that guy, no all-stars amongst them. And we turned that into a whole segment on North Carolina used to have the big name, the buzzy NBA players, right? They had Rasheed Wallace. They had Vince Carter. They had Antoine Jameson. They had Jerry Stackhouse. Going back even further, they had the guys like James Worthy and Michael Jordan. Like, they had that for so long. And they don't have them right now. And I literally went, one of the people in this graphic was Coby White with the Bulls. And I didn't say it this overly, but I'm playing it up because, hey, you got it. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah. First ever playoff game, or postseason game, I should say.
Coby White had 40 points in a win for the Bulls.
42.
42.
Yeah.
That was unintentional shortchanging. 42 points in a win for the Bulls. After I went where's the NBA stars from UNC? That's why I love sports.
Turn on SportsCenter last night. Coby White highlights.
Yeah. And by the way, rightfully so, we do Feedback Tuesdays. The response under that segment that we did, there were some people Coby White literally just dropped 40. And I'm like, yeah, 40 burgers is a pretty good rebuttal.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good response.
Hey, you kept that receipt?
It's why it's obviously I'm going to be here and the receipts are going to be there. I'm going to eat my humble pie, eat my crow. We're going to move on. But that's why I love sports, because you do go play the games.
Yeah.
You do go play the games. Drake May, all the naysayers that are nitpicking everything about him. Eventually, he's going to be an NFL quarterback, and he's going to get to go play. And he's going to be the one that shows us whether it matters or not that he had some questionable decision-making in certain games in college. Like Coby White, he's the one that got to go out there and play and decide whether he was going to play like a star and be an all-star caliber performer in a postseason game after the segment I did, or if he was going to make me right. You have to play the games. We make a ton of predictions. I actually just, this is a side conversation, but there's a group chat where somebody I know was like, hey, I made a great prediction, 6 months ago. And they were bringing their receipts up. I got it right. It was a golf prediction. And one of the things I said was, I was like, hey, I've predicted 3 of the last 4 NFL MVPs on air have receipts. And they were like, wow, is that true? And I went yeah, but I make so many predictions on this show. it would feel insincere if I touted my good, because 3 hours a day every day, you have your fair share of I really know what I'm talking about, and your fair share of Coby White, UNC doesn't produce great NBA players anymore, and then not 3 hours later he's in the middle of scoring 42 points. So I don't dance with my victories. I try to own my losses, but that one was pretty cut and dry. Make a prediction, basketball gods looked at you and went, no. Fair. Moving on. Shout out to Coby White. Congrats on your big performance. Bulls move on. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
I want to add another element here to Jeremy Roach declaring for the draft and putting his name in the transfer portal.
All right.
So we've all already done our immediate reactions to that. And you can find them, podcast, the like. Jeremy Roach might have actually been doing Duke a solid by putting his name in the transfer portal. Think about that. It might not, if he's really, 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 I would say leaning towards going pro, which, by the way, there'd be nothing wrong with that. He's a 4-year starter at Duke. Even if you don't think he's an obvious draft pick or whatever, sometimes you're just done with college. Sometimes he's you know what? Time for me to enter the workforce.
I've already given 4 years.
4 years, 4 years of starting, a lot of games. Maybe he's my draft stock's not going up or down, kind of I am what I am. If I'm going to go play overseas, I want to go start playing overseas. If he's leaning towards leaving, putting his name in the transfer portal is actually a solid for Duke, because that allows them to spend that scholarship. Or it at least allows them to recruit saying they can spend that scholarship. If you're keeping your eligibility alive and you're not in the portal, then that scholarship is still being used. You're still there. So it is kind of a he might be doing a solid to Duke and probably dealing with a few, I would say, losers on social media giving him the business when he might be just, looking at John Shire and going like, yeah, I'll do this for you. You've been good by me. There's another element to it, and another way that everybody's going to say, oh, the transfer portal, it's getting carried away. There's too much going on. He's in the portal. He's not in the portal. He's in the portal to help his team. He's in the portal how do we know with the portal? I can't claim this, but I did see someone on Twitter called it Portal Combat.
I've seen that before. Portal Combat.
It's clever. You know how I play Mortal Kombat? Smash buttons.
Just
moving the joystick. That's all I got. I'm not a very good video game player. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
Dave Canales and Dan Morgan spoke to the media earlier today. This is their pre-draft press conference where they talked about everything going in there. We have a whole host of clips here.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis, do you want to play jukebox here and give us some of the good ones?
Sure.
All right, what do we got?
So let's actually go to Dan Morgan about the potential of possibly trading up into the first round from pick 33.
Sitting at 33, obviously, you have 32 teams ahead of you. So, we really got to see how it plays out. I'm not going to box myself into any hey, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. Ideally, though, if we're sitting there and there's a really good player, we'll take them. Trading up, those are discussions that we still have to have. So, I think everything's on the table right now. I don't want to box us in right now.
Good. First of all, there's not 32 teams ahead of you.
There's 32 picks.
There's 32 picks ahead of you. There's only 32 teams. You're one of them. Secondly, that was probably a little nitpicky. Sorry for
a little bit.
Sorry. I apologize. Walk it back. Here's why I like that answer. At 33, you can't be boxed in. You don't know what's going to happen. There are 32 picks ahead of you. You have to be nimble. You at pick 33. You know what you are? You are a defender. You are a defensive player. You have to react, right? An offensive player, you're a defensive back. A wide receiver, he's up there. He knows what he's doing, right?
I know where I'm going.
I'm going to try to, set you up. I have a plan, hand fight, stick it outside, cut in. You have all of that. A defensive player has to react. If you have one of the top 5 picks in the NFL draft, I think you can be an offensive player. You know what you're going to do, right? You're going to be aggressive. You're going to go for it. You're going to do what you plan to do. Everybody else has to be a defensive player. You're reacting, right? The Carolina Panthers, I think the most obvious answer is pick 33 and draft a wide receiver or trade back. But guess what? There might be 10 wide receivers taken in the first round.
Yeah.
Then guess what you have to do? I think our number 2 corner just fell to us at 33. Let's pivot. Let's react.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Or look at this. With all those wide receivers going, Michael Penix or Bo Nix fell to 33. Everybody loves them. Let's get a bidding war going to sell that pick 33. You have to react to what happens. Or what if the opposite happens? 3 wide receivers go in the first round. Now you're sitting there at 33 going, no way am I taking a wide receiver there because I'm going to be able to get a good one in the 3rd round because there's still 10 I like that are on the board. But there's a center here that I like, right? You have to be, or let's trade up and go get one. There's a bunch of different things you have to do. Dan Morgan has to go in with, not just plan A and plan B. He has to, when you're walking up a stadium step and you look at your ticket and you're like, we are double J.
Mm-hmm.
We are he needs plan A, plan B, plan C, all the way to plan Z, plan double A, double B, all the way to doubles. He needs so many plans, and he's just going for them, right? We are in the nosebleeds. Double Q? Yeah, you need plan double Q.
By the way, Dan Morgan actually did talk about how valuable that 33rd pick is.
Obviously, we're going to have all night, all the next day, to field calls if we want to trade that pick or to figure out which player, is going to fit us best, whether it's offense or defense. So we're gonna have a lot of time to discuss and make the best decision for the Panthers.
Accurate with it, fine with it. The 33rd pick, where I think would be really I don't know how sometimes authors get this ability.
Okay.
I want to say I'm writing a book on a year in the life of the Panthers, just to be a fly on the wall of that night, right? Because they're not going to sleep much. If they do, it'll be on a couch in their office. They're going to be there fielding offers all night, negotiating back. Oh, this team said they'll give up this, and they have to decide. I just want to be there listening. Tell them to take all the calls on speaker, and I'll just be there taking notes. I'm writing a book. Will that book ever come out, or will I just have cool stories to tell? That's up for you to decide. Let's take a quick break here from the starting five because I don't want to waste number one on this. But there is a bit of breaking news. TJ Power, Duke Blue Devils, into the transfer portal.
Oh.
According to his very own Twitter, this past year in Durham has been one of the best years of my life and forever grateful for the great. Duke will always have a place in my heart, but it's time to do what's best for me, and that time I'm in a transfer portal. He was the number 17 recruit in the country. Number 4 power forward, a 5-star recruit. He was on campus for 1 year. First of all, his skill set was redundant, meaning they recruited over him. He is a power forward, 6'9", 215. The best thing he does is shoot.
Shoot threes.
He can shoot the lights out. High release point. Duke brought in Con Knipple in the next group, another 5-star, another shooter, another big guy to fill, meaning not a post player big guy, but another tall player that can shoot from 3. College basketball, cold world, no blankets, right? If you don't play for a season and they bring in a guy at your position that's highly, and by the way, Cooper Flagg, similar body type, 6'9", 215. There's a lot of guys. 4 small forwards are coming in for Duke in the number 1 recruiting class in the country. It's wild that their recruiting can take a number 17 recruit in the country, and a year later, we don't need you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's going to be a lot of schools calling TJ Power. A lot.
A lot of ACC schools calling TJ Power.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of SEC schools calling TJ Power.
Yeah. Big East schools.
A lot of Big Ten schools calling
Big Ten schools. I would
say
say
a lot of MAC
Pac-12.
schools.
Yeah.
A lot of Mountain West schools. A lot of Sun Belt schools.
It's on everyone's
NAIA schools. Everybody's going to call. Why not? But he is leaving Duke. He is in the transfer portal. A little hiatus there from our starting 5. Let's get back to number 1. The Canes. We know when they're going to play. I feel like we did a lot of hypothesizing, a lot of guessing. They are playing Saturday, 5 o'clock, PNC Arena against the Islanders.
By the way, Stormwatch hour long. So not 4:30. It's going to be at 4 o'clock here on the Fan. Be Adam Gold. Hour long Stormwatch.
Check it out. I encourage you to. Aftermath, all of it. We're breaking out the
Canes Corner podcast. Subscribe to it. The whole deal.
The whole deal. And you can listen to the broadcast right here on 99.9.
That's right.
Here's one of the cool parts about this. It matters. It does feel, and I don't mean to downplay the regular season, because regular season games count, right? The stats go on your legacy, the wins, all the 3 straight 50-win seasons. Great, good, grand, marvelous. I started saying it very early on in the season. The Canes could not prove anything that they haven't already proven in the regular season. If their season is a success or a failure, is 100% riding on what they do in the postseason. I'd say if they make the Stanley Cup Finals, that's where you start to get to the break-even point. And obviously, if you win the Cup, they throw parades for successes like that. So the games like this Saturday matters. And it matters in a way that affects all of the games going forward. There's a big difference between winning in 7 and winning in 6. It's for staying fresh. It's for not exhausting your defense. It's for staying healthy. It's for everything else. So if you show up and start slow in game one and you lose it, even if you go on to win the series, that one can have lasting effects. That loss is another game you have to play. It's another day of travel. It's another thing you have to do. So starting Saturday, you don't know if that game has a 1% change on like game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals if you make it, because you're a little bit more tired. And in the NHL playoffs, sometimes it is a game of percentages, right? You might win a game because you were 50.01% the better team in that game. You might win a game because they were the better team for 55 minutes, but in those 5 minutes, you found the juice to go ahead and get a couple goals and steal one. You don't know what the differing factors are going to be. So take care of your business when you have the opportunity to take care of your business. This is what you're judged on. This is where your legacies are written. There's a lot of legacies on the line, from Brindamore to Stahl to Aho to Svetch to Freddie to Gensel on and on and on down the list. These opportunities with teams this good don't come around every single year unless you're in the middle of a dynasty. Fost injured. We don't know the extent. We know he's not practicing today. Doubtful for tomorrow's practice.
We will see. Upper body injury.
In the meantime, that does kind of make the decision on we were hypothesizing that it was Kuznetsov, Kotkaniemi, and Drury, kind of 3 guys for 2 spots. They're all going to be in now while Fost is held out. So I guess that does kick that decision down the road a little bit if you're looking for an impact on the game from Fost's injury. I don't think that's that big of a deal, but it is there.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free of credit cards, car loans, no personal loans, none of that stuff. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. You can use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value, it's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We look at... Oh, no, I was going to get ahead of ourselves.
We look at the numbers
We look at the numbers game coming up next. We have a $50 gift card to the Mixed Bottle Shop and Bar. You need to check out the Mixed Bottle Shop and Bar in Raleigh. You can chill inside or outside with one of their amazing craft cocktails, craft beer, and unique wine selection, located between Sharkey's and Warargy in Durham corners. If you want to play the numbers game, you have to call in. If you want to win the prize, you have to win. To do all of that, call in right now. We need 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game next.
You're always close to the Canes with 99.9 The Fan.
47 seconds left in overtime. Jarvis now his feet. Dropper, Natchez, he scores! Natchez in overtime, and the Canes win it 3-2!
Count on us to bring you every Canes game night and the latest Canes news from insider Adam Gold, your official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Triangle High School Hockey League update of this weekend's games.
There's a whole lot of high school hockey action this weekend in the Triangle, thanks to the Triangle High School Hockey League that provides an environment for hockey players of all skill levels to play at a competitive level and represent their schools in an honorable way, playing the game they love. These games are super affordable, so you can bring the whole family to as many games as you'd like. This weekend's games at Wake Competition Center will be Holly Springs versus Apex Friendship, Wakefield versus Leesville, Heritage and Apex, Broughton versus Raleigh Catholic, Greater Neuse and West Cary, and East Cary versus Raleigh. And at the Factory in Wake Forest, come out for Enloe versus Millbrook, Green Level in Wake Forest, and Chapel Hill versus South Apex. For schedule times and to purchase tickets, visit trianglehshl.leagueapps.com.
Triangle High School Hockey League update brought to you by CK's Plumbing and Backflow, Wake County's first choice for residential and commercial plumbing services.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop. Introducing Bojangles' new Bird Dog, a seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supreme, dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all on a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or a 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8. Hurry, Bo's Bird Dogs are available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. It is playoff time. NHL, NBA, and baseball is in full swing. FanDuel is your place to bet on every game. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you bet your first $5. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul. Paul with a capital P, and sign up. Then you can bet on everything from slap shots to slam dunks to home runs, all on an app that is safe, secure, and easy to use. So get started today. $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul, P-A-U-L, and get started. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Time to play the numbers game. Again, the prize for today, a $50 gift card to The Mix Bottle Shop and Bar. You need to check out The Mix Bottle Shop and Bar in Raleigh. You can chill inside or outside with one of their amazing craft cocktails, craft beer, or unique wine selections. Located between Sharkey's and Waraji in Durham Corners. The two competing, Sal in Morrisville and Eric in Raleigh. They are competing for the prize in the numbers game. As always, we ask a question to find out who answers our favorite answer, and then we let them go first. Sal in Morrisville, we'll start with you on line 1. We were talking tailgating for the Canes on Saturday. We had the tailgate weather report. Looks lovely from Kat Campbell, WRAL, earlier today. The weather looks lovely. Sal, what's your go-to tailgate food before a hockey game?
Same thing that would be for a football game. Just some burgers or some dogs. We used to tailgate when we had Carolina football season tickets. Our biggest tailgate was a final one. We did everything. We did burgers. We did dogs. We did gumbo. We did steamed oysters. We did it up big. So, yeah.
All right. You know, I wasn't expecting to end with oysters when you started with burgers and dogs, but I respect it all. Eric and Raleigh, we'll go to you with the same question. What is your go-to tailgate food for a hockey game?
Tailgate food, I would say Bojangles chicken.
I don't think there's a better option than Bojangles chicken.
All right, I will defer this one to our producer Dennis Cox. He's the one that gave me the. You gave me the question.
Come on, you put me on the spot here.
I pick every day. You can do it occasionally.
It's hard to go wrong with the Bo box. It's hard to go wrong with the Bojangles. Bringing that, like, pick it up, bringing it to the tailgate. That's hard. It's hard to go wrong with it because not everyone can bring a grill, but you still want to hang out and all that stuff. Can't go wrong with the Bojangles.
All right, Eric and Raleigh, you get to go first.
But burgers and dogs, still can't go wrong with it. Those are two great answers, by the way.
Sal in Morrisville, sit on the line. You'll have your chance. Eric, are you there?
I am.
All right, go ahead and pick your category. They are NFL Jasons, all players with the first name Jason. NFL Stanford guys, all players that played their college football at Stanford. NBA current players and NHL Canes and Whalers only.
First name Jason.
All right, NFL Jasons coming your way. All players with the first name Jason. I will give you the player's name and the team. Give me their jersey number with that team. It is NFL. You have 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any last second questions?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Jason Witten, Dallas Cowboys.
84?
Incorrect. Jason Taylor, Miami Dolphins.
99.
Correct. Jason Hanson, Detroit Lions.
Pass.
Jason Kelsey, Philadelphia Eagles.
62.
Correct. Jason Campbell, Washington Redskins.
92.
Incorrect. Jason Witten, Dallas Cowboys.
82.
Correct. Jason Hanson, Detroit Lions.
97.
Incorrect. Jason Campbell, Washington. 3, right? 3? 3. That's a solid showing. Jason Witten, you got on the bounce back, wore number 82. Jason Taylor with the Dolphins, the defensive end, wore number 99. Jason Hanson with the Lions, kicker, wore number 4. You got Jason Kelsey, number 62. And for everybody playing at home, Jason Campbell wore number 17. Those are the answers. You got 3. We'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and sit on the line.
Okay.
All right. That brings up Sal in Morrisville. Sal, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The categories remaining that you get to choose from are NFL Stanford guys, all Stanford alum, NBA current players, and NHL Canes and Whalers.
I'll do NFL Stanford, guys.
Okay. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number with that team. You have 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any last-second questions?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn.
Okay.
John Elway, Denver Broncos.
7.
Correct. Zach Ertz, Philadelphia Eagles.
85.
Incorrect. Andrew Luck, Indianapolis Colts.
12.
Correct. Doug Baldwin, Seattle Seahawks.
80.
Incorrect. Zach Ertz, Philadelphia Eagles.
83.
Incorrect. Doug Baldwin, Seattle Seahawks.
82.
Incorrect. Zach Ertz, Philadelphia Eagles.
84.
Incorrect. Doug Baldwin, Seattle Seahawks.
81.
Incorrect. Zach Ertz, Philadelphia Eagles.
87.
Incorrect. You were in the right neighborhood of both. You got John Elway with 7. You got Andrew Luck with 12. Zach Ertz, you were firing 80s. 86 was the one we were looking for. Doug Baldwin, Seattle Seahawks, again, you were firing 80s. 89 is what we were looking for. We would have taken 15 also. He wore 2 numbers with the Seahawks. But you were close. Unfortunately, close, not good enough. You got 2. That's not good enough for the win, but we appreciate you for playing. Hopefully you had a good time.
I did, as always. Maybe try again one more time.
There you go. There's always that option. Eric and Raleigh, congratulations. You are the winner.
All right. I appreciate it, guys.
We appreciate you for calling in and playing. Go ahead and hang out on the line. Dennis has a few questions for you to make sure you get your tickets. Or your gift card, I should say.
Sounds great.
Sounds good. Once again, that gift card, a $50 gift card to the Mix Bottle Shop and Bar. You need to check out the Mix Bottle Shop and Bar in Raleigh. You can chill inside or outside with one of their amazing craft cocktails, craft beer, and unique wine selection. Located between Sharkey's and Warargy in Durley Corners. Speaking of giving stuff away, we had a pretty fun afternoon. I want to keep you all informed on it. So we had our 10K playoff payout today, and the way it broke down, the way it happened, is we had the 5 contestants that called in and answered questions to qualify. They showed up. We were at the Canes practice arena, and we had a shot set up for them. So we had a board that covered the goal and left a slot. There was a little hole in the board. I think it a little bit bigger than a puck. So the puck can fit through it. We tested it all beforehand, and what they had to do was go to the far blue line. They got one shot, no practice shots, and without crossing the far blue line, they had to take one shot, try to put it in the gap that we left in the board in front of the goal. And if they would have made it, they would have gotten $10,000.
Yeah, you could have won up to $10,000.
$10,000. If two did it, they would have split it $5,000 apiece. But $10,000. So the drama was high, the intensity was there. The contestants walked out on the ice. We took them out there. We explained the rules. We gave them a stick. We gave them a puck. No winners. No winners.
We still did give some stuff away, though.
Oh, there were still winners.
Yeah.
No 10,000 winners.
No.
The one hit the board. One fell over.
And he got up, got right back up.
I have to admit, it was on Facebook Live, so I was mic'd up. When it was on his swing, right? Gave it everything he had. He tumbled over. Falling on ice, first of all, can hurt.
Oh, yes.
I did not react appropriately. I think I just imagined it being like one of my friends or something where when you fall on the ice, you're wearing a helmet, you're going to get laughed at. So I was like, oh, down he goes. And then I was like, oh, no, wait, this. Let's check to go make sure he's okay. So literally, I'm sure in the mic'd up audio, I'm like, down he goes. Oh, wait, whoa. Are you all right, sir? And I'm like, shuffled over to help him up. Luckily, he ended up being fine. We ended up doing so the closest on that first one got a Cam Ward signed puck. Contestant number 4, the winner, put it, I'd say probably a foot or two to the right of the hole he was aiming for. But that was good enough to win the Cam Ward signed puck. Everybody got another shot. That time it was for a $50 Sport and Social gift card. Different guy won that one. And then at the end we did some like random drawings where they all got, station merch and a gift card to get a car wash from Auto Bell. And the same guy that won the Cam Ward puck also won playoff tickets to the Carolina Hurricanes postseason run. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, got tickets to got a pair of tickets to a game, which is pretty awesome.
I was talking to him after he won. Obviously, he's in a good mood, right? He got the Cam Ward puck. He got the tickets. He's having a good time. I said, who are you bringing to the game? He quickly went, my girl. And I was like, all right. And he goes, or my best friend. And I went, ooh, decision to make. Decision to make. Got to ask yourself a question, don't you?
And it's his first ever game. He's never been to a Canes game before in person.
First ever hockey game in person. And I told him, this one, don't set the expectation at home postseason game going to for free with a Cam Ward signed puck that you just won. Like, they're all fun. By the way, I love going to Canes games. They're all fun. Not all that fun. They're not all going to be that electric. There's going to be, T-shirts on your seat probably when you show up, something to wave around. Like, it's going to be electric.
T-shirts, towels, something.
Yeah, something. It's but it was overall a really cool event. The 10K playoff payout, Carolina Ford dealers. If you're looking for a Ford SUV or truck, check out your local Carolina Ford dealer. It was a fun event. We were able to give a bunch of stuff away. Everybody seemed to have a good time, and the individuals, a few of them brought buddies and stuff to watch them.
We had a crowd show up,
which
was awesome.
If I was going to say, is one of those. It's bold to tell all your friends to come, to show up at the event, because if you missed 30 feet wide, you might hear about that for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
You'd be at a bar 30 years from now, your buddy's like, so he's got a chance at $10,000, right? All he has to do. And if he just gets it closest, he gets a Cam Ward puck. That's all he had to do. And what did he do? He almost knocked the camera over. He was all the way to the left. Yep. But actually, I would say everybody showed pretty solid.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody showed pretty solid. There was nothing too embarrassing. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fans. I want to quickly tell you about my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. 82 game. Some call it the regular season. It's really the preseason, and it's in the books. It's finally time for the real season. Don't miss out on any of the NBA playoff action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. And if you're new to this whole sports betting thing, right? If you don't want to dive right into, 6-leg same-game parlays or live bets when the game is going on and everything's moving and changing fast, that's fine. You can get something started. You can get yourself started with something super easy, super simple, like picking a team to win, right? Look at a matchup, 2 teams you know, maybe one of them you follow, you know them well, you think you know who's going to win. You can just pick a team to win. That's called betting on the money line. Try betting on something simple like that. Go to the app, select your team, place your bet. It can be that simple. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 once you sign up using code TIMD, T-I-M-D with no spaces, and you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That is only for new customers downloading the DraftKings Sportsbook app and using code TIMD, T-I-M-D with no spaces. You'll get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the transfer portal is changing. Not just for Duke basketball. They got like 6 guys in the transfer portal. But it's changing for everybody, and I'll tell you how coming up next.
Deals are happening at John Heister Chevrolet on brand new 2024 vehicles, like $2,500 off a Colorado, $4,000 off the Silverado 2500 Custom, or $6,000 off a Silverado 2500 High Country. With a 2010 or newer Chevrolet trade-in, get up to $5,500 off an Equinox LT, up to $7,000 off a Blazer RS, or up to $9,000 off the Silverado RST. Get off your keister and get to John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. Together, let's drive.
If you see me stopped in the McDonald's drive-thru, just staring at the menu with my "what should I order" face, don't interrupt. It's the most important decision I'll make all day.
Enjoy savings every day when you get a McDouble, McChicken, and other faves. Buy one, get one for $1. Plus, get any size Dr. Pepper for just $1.29. Price and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
The future of medicine is here at QC Kinetics. QC is the nation's leader in the most exciting revolution in pain management we've seen in decades, regenerative medicine. If you are tired of achy joints, if your joint pain is keeping you from doing what you love, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Surgery, steroids, drugs, these are no longer your best options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative treatments that deliver lasting results. We're talking natural biologics, using your body's own power to repair and restore damaged tissue. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Sheencup. Dr. Sheencup is a pioneer in this field with 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, and publishing. He wants to get you relief with a needle, not a knife. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about some exciting options. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. 919-400-5473 with locations in Cary, Clayton, Raleigh, and Wake Forest. 919-400-5473.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is Mike Maniscalco, voice of the Carolina Hurricanes. For Raleigh's exterior remodeler, Window World of Raleigh, a proud partner of the Carolina Hurricanes. And look, I know how important it is to be able to see through glass and make sure that you love what you're seeing through. And not only that, it's got to catch the eyes of everybody looking at it. Clearly, from the perch I have looking down through glass, got to make sure that Window World is taking care of what they have. And that's what they do for your house. And it's not just for windows. They can make a world of difference when it comes to curb appeal, but also saving you money. That's when it comes to decreasing energy costs. As America's largest exterior remodeler, Window World offers the highest rated windows, siding and doors, and so much more. And they all look great. All with guaranteed pricing and the industry's strongest warranty. We're talking about products with a lifetime warranty and the trusted Good Housekeeping seal. Check them out for a free in-home, no obligation estimate. Window World of Raleigh and Fayetteville. Just visit them at windowworldofraleigh.com.
We all know what UV rays can do to our skin, but they can also do damage to your car. Keep that from happening with 303 Protectant. 303 Protectant keeps the sun's harmful rays from causing fading and cracking in rubber, plastic, or vinyl surfaces. From the dashboard to the tires, 303 Protectant keeps your car looking new longer. Get 303 Protectant today at AutoZone. Visit 303radio.com for more information.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Continuing here on the drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Just a revisit quick, some breaking news earlier today. TJ Power, 5-star recruit. He was a freshman this past year at Duke, has entered the transfer portal. If you're counting, I believe that is 6 in the transfer portal from Duke basketball and 2 going pro.
Yeah, 2 going pro, 6 in the transfer portal. Transfer portal includes Mark Mitchell, now TJ Power, Jalen Blakes, Christian Reeves,
and now
Jordan Shutt, now TJ Power, and Jeremy Roach.
That's a lot.
Quite a bit.
That's a lot. Just throwing that out there. But speaking of the portal, the NCAA finally got to the point that it had to get to with the transfer portal. Kind of forced there by the court system and rules being made by legislators, but the rule being everyone can transfer everywhere. As long as they're actually, I'll read it as it was written in the ESPN article earlier today. A new NCAA transfer rule will allow all undergraduate athletes to transfer and play immediately if they meet specific academic requirements, as the Division I Council on Wednesday approved emergency legislation announced by the NCAA. This is the best option when you think about the side effects of what they were trying to do. They were trying to limit transfers unless there was special circumstances, right? You can't transfer twice unless you get a waiver. The reasons for the waivers being passed, special circumstances, family emergencies, social reasons, on and on and on and on. The NCAA has a hard enough time doing whatever it normally does. It can't be expected to decide which family emergencies are waiver worthy and which aren't. That's just a disgusting way to think of it, right? You want some kid to go in there and say, my mom's sick, and they're going to go, that's worth it. Someone's going to go in there and say, my cousin's sick, and you're going to say no. And then it's like, wait a second, where do you draw the line?
Yeah. Tez Walker, his grandmother with UNC football this past year.
Yeah, grandmother, but she's in Charlotte. Is that close enough to Chapel Hill? Mm-hmm. Like, you want to be the one drawing those lines in the sand? I covered Virginia Tech football earlier in my career, when trying to work my way here. And there was a guy, Brock Hoffman, that was transferring from Coastal to Virginia Tech. He was an offensive lineman. His mom had a brain tumor. He put pictures of the scans online, trying to go like, this is why I'm transferring. He didn't get a waiver. Do you know why? Because he was Blacksburg, where Virginia Tech was 5 miles outside the radius that they considered transferring home. They said, like, if you're transferring to be closer to home, you had to be within, like, 100 miles of your home, and he was 105 miles at Blacksburg, and they didn't make the waiver go. Can you imagine being that NCAA person going, well, letter of the law says I don't care if it makes you 4 hours closer to your mother with a brain tumor. It doesn't make you close enough, and I get to decide that that's not waiver worthy. The NCAA can't be in that world. So instead of being in that weighing and balancing world, let everyone transfer. If that means occasionally you get a guy running from competition or occasionally you get a guy running to higher NIL money, that's fine. The other thing I have to say is this too. It doesn't mean players have to transfer. You can root for the players that stick it out. This is welcome to my NBA fandom. I will always argue for NBA players' rights to pair up with their friends and create super teams in whatever big market they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will root for Giannis for staying in Milwaukee and winning a championship with the team that drafted him without going to match up with his buddies in Miami or Boston or Chicago or LA or New York. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. I was a big Dame Lillard fan till he ran, ironically, to Giannis. It's you can stick it out. You can. You don't have to hit the portal when you're in a position competition. You just now have the ability to. You have the right to. The NCAA won't stop you from.
And I know a lot of coaches will say, well, if they can just transfer as many times as they want to, then who's not going to say that a kid might go to 4 schools in 4 years? Like, okay. It's also on you, the coach, to decide if you want to recruit that player. Like, all right, this is his third year of playing college, whatever, and this will be his third school. I don't know if I want to bring on that guy.
And coach, make your program one that people don't want to leave, even if they're not playing.
Too.
Make it so they're being developed personally and they think they have a future and that their hard work will be rewarded. Develop a culture that players don't want to leave and they won't leave. Right? You can handcuff them to your organization metaphorically with essentially the most aggressive non-compete clause, or you can make your program one that players want to stay in. Check up with them often. Make sure they're seeing value out of your program. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have Overdrive coming up next, where we break down the impact of a potential Jesper Foss injury-related absence from the postseason and the Canes as they get ready for the Islanders on Saturday at 5 o'clock to open their postseason. It was a fun conversation from earlier. We want you to hear it again. Overdrive will kick off with Canes talk, and then we'll get to Panthers talk, and we'll get back here at 3 o'clock tomorrow for more. I will be at the Griot's car show, 9th Griot's Garages, North Carolina National Car Show tomorrow. If you're there from noon to 2, look me up. I'll see you tomorrow at 3, back on air here. See ya.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Triangle High School Hockey League update of this weekend's games.
There's a whole lot of high school hockey action this weekend in the Triangle, thanks to the Triangle High School Hockey League that provides an environment for hockey players of all skill levels to play at a competitive level and represent their schools in an honorable way, playing the game they love. These games are super affordable, so you can bring the whole family to as many games as you'd like. This weekend's games at Wake Competition Center will be Holly Springs versus Apex Friendship, Wakefield versus Leesville, Heritage and Apex, Broughton versus Raleigh Catholic, Greater Neuse and West Cary, and East Cary versus Raleigh. And at the Factory in Wake Forest, come out for Enloe versus Millbrook, Green Level and